The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Yo, what up? This is Rocky Asuka Romero of Chaos, and you are listening to Keepin It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the ace of podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Let's go. It's the ace of podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Josh. Come and hit a job out and bury all the frauds. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan here alongside the young boy Josh Smith. On today's show, we'll be reviewing the last few nights of the Best of the Super Junior tournament, including the finals, as well as giving you a Dominion preview, naming the wrestler of the month for May and the match of the month for May, and covering all the latest news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can support our show and network by subscribing on the podcast app of your choice and leaving a rating and review. You can get all the podcasts and columns at socialsuplex.com. Go to socialsuplex.com/subscribe to sign up to get the podcast and columns delivered directly to your email inbox. And make sure you check out our friends at pureresuroad.com. A lot of great Puro columns, and our podcast is featured on there with a couple others. So check those guys out for some great Puro content. All right, Josh. We're going to have a packed show here. Talking the wrap up of Best of Super Juniors, Dominion. Got some questions. A lot of good stuff.
I'm up to the task. It has been a crazy last couple weeks with these tournament matches. I don't know how many of you actually, stayed caught up with all these, but I barely made it.
I know. I mean, I've seen a couple comments on New Japan Reddit of people skipping certain nights because the uploads weren't fast enough. And
they might have been right. Yeah. Some of these nights, but dude, I was in New York City for a wedding for a weekend, and that just literally cut right into all my viewing. I barely finished all these matches. I mean, I was binging them like it was like Gossip Girl or something.
Yeah, and we made the last minute call to record tonight instead of Monday night because we didn't want to. We figured by next week nobody would probably really care about the Best of Super Junior finals.
We just thought about it and we were like, you know what? We could do a review where we cover everything up to night 13. And then give our predictions on night 14. But then by the time we upload it, other people have already watched the finals. So it felt like to you guys we were doing a disservice if we just dropped it on Tuesday like we always do. And some of you guys are super loyal and you probably stick around, and thank you for that. But yeah, we feel like in this instance, because of the timing of everything, it's probably best that we record tonight.
Right, and I mean, this is going to be a one-off, or in the future, if New Japan does have some big show that happens on Monday.
We won't be as stupid about it. We will not be as dumb.
We'll probably record later on in the week, but so...
I don't know what we were thinking there. We were like, yeah, we'll be good.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just seemed like it, and then when it came up, we were like, oh, this is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, this is dumb. As Chris Jericho would say, we were effing morons.
Stupid idiot. Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah. All right. So, Best of Super Juniors, it's over.
Yeah. Wow. What? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. No, this tournament was awesome, man. So I think last week we stopped our review at night 8, right?
Yeah.
So we've got nights 9 through 14, which is the finals to kind of cover here. So we can kind of like go through it, like just talk. I would say we go through it and talk about the matches that kind of stuck out to us on certain nights, different thoughts, and then just kind of give our overall thoughts on the tournament, just in general with everything.
Okay. So let's start off night 9. It was an A block night. We had Ishimori defeated Tiger Mask. Bushi defeated ACH. Yo defeated Flip Gordon. And Will Ospreay defeated Kanemaru. So what was the highlight there for you?
Well, I think at this point, we had kind of talked about the idea of, Tiger Mask going on his old man run.
Yeah.
His hope run. And, I think, he had 6 points going into this night?
Yeah.
So we were like, hey, 1 more win, 2 more wins here or there. Like, it puts him right in the conversation.
Right, yeah.
But on this night, it was not to be, as he ran into the Bone Soldier.
Yeah, the Bone Soldier shot down his chances of getting 8 points.
I will say this. I don't know if you noticed, it seemed to me on the nights where Tiger Mask was getting the W, he tried a lot harder.
Yeah, yeah.
He worked really hard, and then the nights where he was doing the job, it was kind of lackluster. And I kind of wanted to see him, if he was going to go on a hope run like that, maybe put more effort into it.
Right.
like a Hanma performance or something.
It's go all out.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, go all out. But it didn't really seem to be the case here. But, in all honesty, you got to come some slack and cut all. I mean, we're at the 9th night of the tour at this point.
You're right. For me, I thought that was an all right opening match. For me, I think the highlight of the night was probably definitely Ospreay and Kanemaru. I think it was probably one of the better singles Kanemaru matches in the tournament.
It was pretty good. We got a lot of the same Kanemaru tropes. The attacking, the spraying, the Hattori special or
Satori.
Satori surprise,
Satori whiskey.
It was fine. I think Will Ospreay in this tournament he did a fantastic job elevating a lot of guys.
Right. He brought guys definitely onto his level and really got the best out of everybody he was wrestling.
Although I will say the neck thing kind of got repetitive after a while.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the story of every single match.
I know Chase Owens, when he was on commentary, he was making...
On the last night?
Yeah, he's like, when's Ospreay going to start complaining about his neck? My neck.
No, but I mean, that is a legit gripe. I mean, you watch the guy wrestle, 7-8 times, and it's the same story in every single match. It kind of gets a little...
It gets old.
Especially since we don't necessarily love the dude selling in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the overall theme of this night was just people getting wins that they really needed. Ishimori needed that win. Ospreay needed that win. Yo picked up a big win over Flip Gordon.
Yeah. Which was very surprising.
Yeah, I mean, Flip was pretty much beating the crap out of Yo that whole match. Flip was very aggressive in that match. And then
so it kind of did a good job making Flip look very competent and strong, but Yo ends up getting the cradle pin, which is is that the dude's finish?
I guess so. He's pulling
his finisher is Lucha Libre pins.
Yeah. That reminds me of remember that time period in Ring of Honor where Daniel Bryan was just beating people with small packages?
You know what? No. Honestly, if I'm gonna be legit, I wish I could be of course I remember Dragon back then.
Yeah.
But I mean, my experience watching Bryan Danielson is going back and watching big matches, and so I don't always have I've seen a lot of his stuff. I've seen his matches with Tyler Black, Davey Richards, Morishima, Samoa Joe, Punk, all that. I just don't have the context of time periods of his career prior to WWE.
Right.
Because I didn't have access to those tapes.
Right. And I can't remember exactly what year it was he was doing that, but a lot of matches he was just beating dudes small packages.
Really?
And it was part of his gimmick.
That sounds like something he would do though. Yeah. So I mean it makes total sense. No, this kind of reminds me, pinning guys like this reminds me of John Cena circa 2002.
Ruthless Aggression Cena.
Yeah, Ruthless Aggression Cena. He had no finisher. His finish was like rolling people up with special like pins. That's what his. That's how he was the crazy roll up guy.
It's like I know you don't really play the SmackDown games, but they have like the leverage pin where you can like.
I do play the SmackDown games. You're talking about
the 2K games. Sorry, I still call them SmackDown.
Don't disrespect the SmackDown game.
In 2K, they have like the special like leverage pin, where you do like this crazy like victory roll up, and it's like a desperation like pin, and you could like win off of it.
I want to do that, but like pull the trunks.
I know they have. You can put your feet on the ropes. I
want to put my feet on the ropes and pull the trunks at the same time.
I've seen somebody do that. I want to say it was somebody like Bobby Fish or something like that.
His name's Ric Flair. He's the dirtiest player that ever played the game.
Oh man.
No, but so Yo got a win over Flip, which was very surprising.
Yeah, he needed that win. Also, Bushi, he desperately needed a win. He got that over ACH.
Yeah, because he only had 2 points at that point in the tournament. So, and I'll tell you what, for me, I think ACH might have been the standout guy in the A block.
Yeah, I mean, his selling was amazing in every match. I feel like in every match he was going hard and like really trying to perform.
Even when he didn't have great matches, he was performing so much harder than everybody else that he wrestled. And so we'll get into the discussion, but I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, man, who do you take? Do you take a fantastic... Not that they're not both great performers, but it's like, you got Will Ospreay, who's elevating guys night after night, but kind of a little bit going through the motions, kind of preserve himself, or ACH, a guy who is having good to great matches, but his individual performances are like, between his selling and his athleticism, like
it's definitely difficult to choose from.
And this match was like a prime example of it. It wasn't anything blowaway because he's wrestling Bushi.
Yeah,
but ACH was incredible in the match, and he made Bushi look great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely one of the better Bushi outings in this tournament.
Now, I will say this. I think night 8 was the final, the match, the main event was Hiromu versus Taguchi.
Yeah. Yep.
And after that, these nights tended to go way down.
Yeah.
Even the B blocks that we were like kind of excited for, like nothing really, for the most part, seemed to deliver. And this was the start of that trend.
Nothing was really a blow away. It was just all kind of like solid.
Which I don't really. Here's my only problem with that. I understand it's late in the tournament and guys get tired, but my whole thing is if you're going, and we saw the same thing happen in the tag tournament
World Tag
last
League.
year. The first half was much better than the second half. If you're gonna ramp up and have great matches, you should do it towards the end when the wins start really mattering.
Right.
It kind of started killing it for me when it's like there's only 2 nights left for each block, or 3 nights or whatever, and the guys are going half-hearted.
Right. It's like,
so they're just
this
going
is
through
like the most important time. Like you guys are like in desperation of points. Like, you guys are literally like 1 or 2 wins away from possibly winning the whole block.
Like Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask is in this match against Ishimori, and Ishimori is like one of the top dudes. A win against Ishimori probably would have won him the tournament,
right?
Or got him real close, and like. They didn't perform like it was that kind of important of a match. You know what I mean? They performed like they were house match shows, and then the main events were like main events, and that's how it was almost every night. Which that's one of my only real criticisms. I mean I can't criticize this tournament too much because it was just fantastic, but these last few nights they were rough.
Yeah,
they were hard to get through. I'm not gonna lie, and I think maybe was it hard for you because for me I was binging them back to back. So I was losing some of the context to watching it that way.
I mean, I was watching them as soon as they were up on New Japan World, as soon as I could.
You lucky dog.
But I will admit that after a while, I know last week we kind of talked about liking the single cam and no commentary.
Oh, it got rough.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the tournament, it's fine, but coming on towards the end, especially when they're in a little bit bigger
that's the problem.
Arenas, the single cam and no commentary can kind of take you out of the show.
We talked about that last night. I feel like that was one of the biggest problems was that they moved into bigger arenas, and when they're in the bigger arenas, the sound goes up. They were in open air like gymnasiums.
Yeah.
And the crowds were quieter and the guys were working like softer. So there was less like it just overall the shows were deader, but then having the camera angle, we talked about being far away or like being further up, which you can see everything is great, but when it's too far away and you can barely see the action, that's when you start this kind of sucks, especially when TV like
a huge
yeah. And so when watching it before the first few nights, they were in small enough arenas to where like you're kind of up in the action, but when you're far away, and I'm like, I can't even really see what's going on. This is starting to suck, but I don't know. Beggars cannot be choosers, you know.
Yeah, we should be thankful we're able to see it.
Although, like, I'm hoping, like, you know, they had the full production shows for the New Japan Cup this past year, remember?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, like, maybe next year, who knows, depending on how business keeps going, we might get more of these full production shows.
Definitely. So moving on to night 10, so B block night, we had the villain Marty Scurll defeat Dragon Lee. We had Taguchi defeat Sho. Takahashi defeat Chris Sabin. And in the main event, Kushida defeated El Desperado.
I really liked this night. There was nothing that I would say was like blow away or anything like that, but I thought every match that I watched was like significantly good and was really, really easy to get through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really liked the Scurll and Dragon Lee match.
Me too.
When you think about both of their styles, you might think it might not mesh well because Skrull's more of a technical kind of grappler guy, where Dragon Lee, you know, he's a high flyer, diving, lucha libre style, but it worked, it meshed very well.
Here's the thing, Dragon Lee is a fantastic wrestler and he can do other styles aside from just the flippy-do stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think this match was one of the matches. The show match kind of showed that he can work like that main event sort of style, you know, the high drama and all that.
Yeah.
But this match showed how technical he can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like he worked Skrull's match.
Yeah, it pretty much showed just how well-rounded Dragon Lee really is.
And then, you know what? Not taking anything away from Dragon Lee, but a lot of people have a misconception about lucha libre that they don't do this stuff. They do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of the heavyweight like lucha libre matches are more like grappling based, or at least they were like back in the day.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm like Dr. Lucha or anything like that. But I mean, I've seen just mat classics. You know what I mean? Like Angel Azteca, El Dandy. Who are you to doubt El Dandy?
Yeah.
All sorts of guys. Blue Panther, you know, Negro Casas. Oh my God, Negro Casas is amazing. Yeah. These guys, especially when they're not in like a lucha like De Espuertas match, that's different. You know, those are usually hate-filled and blood-filled, but when it's a championship match, there's a title on the line.
It's usually like a classic, like a grappling.
Yeah, and they kind of alluded to the idea with the match that happened earlier in the year between Okada and Zack Sabre. Remember they talked about all the kind of like lucha libre type submission holds that Okada used in that match.
Yeah.
That's that style of wrestling. I'm going to have to figure out what the name of it is again. I forget. But yeah, I mean, that's very prevalent.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, that style, when you think of lucha libre, that style has not been emphasized, especially in recent times, especially in the United States. I mean, when we think lucha libre, you're thinking, you know, Rey Mysterio, Juventud, you're thinking about all these Psychosis.
But when those guys came up in the mid-90s, they changed lucha libre.
Yeah.
They and I'm not like criticizing it. I'm just saying like that's the way business changed and went. But prior to them, it wasn't. I mean, when you watch 80s lucha, with like it's not like 90s lucha.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just like everything with wrestling, the styles change and evolve. And that happened with lucha libre.
But I thought that was actually, for me, it's funny you said that because I've seen a lot of people kind of rate this Scurll Dragon Lee match kind of low.
Yeah.
And I was watching it and I was like, it's actually the match that caught my attention. That in the main event.
Yeah.
And that match was rated pretty low too.
I feel like Scurll, I mean, not that he was like not performing at his best. I just feel like, you know, he's just within like a highlight. And I feel like this match here with Dragon Lee was one of
the better matches of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked this. Scurll ended up defeating Dragon Lee by submission 16 minutes in. He got him in, the crossface chicken wing?
Yep.
Which, that was cool. And that was a big win for Marty because Dragon Lee was a point leader at that point in the tournament. Scurll, you know, I think, he only had 2 points, 4 points, can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like 4, I think.
Big win for Marty Scurll, and a really good match. And yeah, it was clean, mix of styles.
Yeah, he had 4 points. He ended this night with 6 points.
Yeah. So really like that match. And then we got Taguchi and Sho, which was a lot of comedy.
Oh yeah.
So that's what kind of made this easy for me to watch, was just the idea of like Sho being. Oh, I saw someone on Reddit. They're like, bold move, New Japan. You've essentially made Sho's gimmick the Shockmaster.
Yeah. So yeah, they were doing like the hip attack stuff, and Sho was shooting the arrows at him, and
oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some goofy I can take, but like I don't like the like. I don't know. Like, remember when Kenny used to do like the Hadouken?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Or he would like shoot like Kamehamehas at Pia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, because he shot the arrow in his butt, and then Taguchi was selling that.
But it's a different change of pace, which was what made this night pretty enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about the B block, was that even though the booking of it was great, because we'd had all those intense matches earlier in the tournament, and even though this wasn't a super intense night, it was paced well, it was worked well. And Taguchi ended up defeating Sho with Dragon Suplex?
Yeah, Dragon Suplex. And Taguchi desperately needed this win.
And Taguchi really did turn it up towards the end of the match. So not just trying to make it seem like he was just clowning out there. Like, this match did get pretty intense, so that was good.
Yeah, he only had 2 points going into this night.
Yeah, he had that one win over Kushida.
Yeah.
And that was it. And Sho had been having a fantastic tournament.
Yeah, Sho is definitely one of the breakout stars of this tournament.
It's like you can literally see him grow.
Yeah.
Like, as a singles guy, as a performer, like, this tournament has done a lot for him. Like he's one of the top stories coming out of the tournament. Sho is.
Oh yeah, definitely. And where they're gonna go with him in the future.
Then we ended up with Hiromu Takahashi versus Chris Sabin. This is my least favorite match of the night, personally.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this for a second. So we kind of were back and forth last week. We were at the halfway point, and I was saying I thought Hiromu was pretty much at that point the MVP, and you were like on the fence basically.
Between Hiromu and Dragon Lee.
But you were leaning towards Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
This was the first match, and I think, to my knowledge, the only match that I did not rate at 4 stars for Hiromu Takahashi out of his whole entire tournament run.
Yeah. And it's just, it's Sabin, and
what's the deal with your boy, bro?
We all know I'm a Sabin mark, but
that's your boy.
He is my boy, and I still like him. He had a solid tournament. He did everything he did was good.
He had no bad matches.
It wasn't great. It wasn't excellent.
He had no great matches.
Right. And I think the part of the problem is, I think the injuries that he had in the past, and then plus tagging more, that kind of threw him off, especially the injuries. Because like we've mentioned before, this guy in his prime was in the in-ring quality of guys like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. He was one of the top guys in ring.
Gilbert.
Oh, Gilbert. Oh,
Al Snow, the best workers out there.
The Job Squad.
Who was in the Job Squad?
Al Snow, Hardcore Holly, Blue Meanie.
You know what? The only reason I know what the Job Squad is from video games. I don't think I actually saw them on television as the Job Squad. I think I was watching WCW for some reason. But no, you're right. Chris Sabin was one of the top workers,
right. And I really think
16 years ago, though.
Yeah, those injuries, and I think it's just one of those things where he was in the thick of things where that X division was booming, and he was the top of that, kind of the forefront of all of that, and those injuries, he kind of got lost behind, and wrestlers continued to get better and evolve, where he was kind of stuck off on the sidelines.
And you know what? I don't want to be overly critical of him. It's not like he had, like I said, he did not have a single bad match. Every match he had in the tournament was good. He just didn't do anything that was truly great the whole entire tournament.
Right.
And I think it was just interesting because Hiromu, for me, and we'll get to it, but he ended up being the MVP of the whole tournament, the Iron Man, basically. And this was his only subpar match, basically.
Right.
I mean,
it was still good.
It was still very good. It was like a 3.5-star match, but really, really good. Now, I would say like Ben still had a great like showing for himself, and this is one of the better ones he had on the tournament.
Yeah, because basically Saban's a guy like you really haven't heard from, even though he's been the Ring of Honor World Tag Champs with Shelley. Like, he's just a name that didn't come to mind really when you're thinking about top workers. And so,
how about Hiromu tapping him out?
Oh yeah.
How about Hiromu tapping like everybody out?
Yeah, Hiromu getting that triangle over.
This is this is the second time this year that a guy in a tournament has really gotten a submission hold like this over. The first time was Zack Sabre earlier when he got that orienteering
death.
Yeah.
And also,
let's just call it the banana split, guys. Can we just? It's easier for me, and it's more impressive that I even know what it is in the first place.
Yeah. Also, in last year's G1, his LIJ brother Evil got that Banshee muzzle submission over.
Still don't know what that is. Before, and I'm never sure like what that move even is.
He did it recently.
I know he did, and I forgot about it.
It's like they're seated, and he kind of has like a chicken wing and like stretches their face, kind of like.
Oh, that's right. That's right. All I know is that it's better than that freaking butterfly lock that Yoshihashi.
Oh, freaking Yoshihashi is freaking. Oh my gosh.
Which one of our listeners is it that likes Yoshihashi? Is it Mr. ACP? Or is it Gentlemanly Dragon? Undoubtedly Dean.
It's one of those three. I think it might be Gentlemanly Dragon.
One of them is like, it's me. The other two are like, F no, it's not me.
Yeah. They're listening to this right now like,
they're like, are you guys serious right now? For the two of you that are not the Yoshihashi fans, I apologize. But so Hiromu gets another big win here. Chris Sabin has a great showing for himself, and then we got the main event, which was Kushida and El Desperado, which I really liked this match a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Desperado, man, this guy.
Desperado was low-key one of the best guys in the tournament.
Yeah, dude,
he had like 4 bangers.
He did. Like, this guy, he really impressed me. Like, because, a lot of times we see him in these junior tags, or he's in the multi-man Suzuki Gun tags, and all he's doing is just doing the jump from the bell and the sneak attacks.
Dude, last year, when we named him one of our most improved of the year, and then like the rest of the year, like this whole year, I've been kind of down on him, and I've been like, what happened? Were we blind last year? But now like these performances are bringing it back. Like, oh yeah, Desperado can really go.
Yeah, he really shined in these singles matches,
especially like with his. Remember how I've talked in the past, like when you attack someone on the outside, there's a difference between like telling a story when you're doing that and making it seem vicious versus it just being a trope or like a part of your like rest hold like methodology.
Yeah,
this was totally different. Like these attacks, I'm not saying that they were like ending the match or anything, or that they're that they weren't sometimes gratuitous. Sometimes they were, but for the most part, I liked him.
Yeah,
for the most part, like, and it's his gimmick. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm gonna give him the pass on all the outside attacks because it was part of his story in the tournament. Like he was cheating every single match to get like
pretty
the upper
much he was
hand
doing anything he could
to scratch and claw and beat these guys who might have been somewhat superior to him,
right,
which I really, really like that. And this Kushida match, there's a bunch of times I thought it was over. Like I really bought the false finishes on this night.
Yeah, they did a great job really buying you in on either guy winning.
And Kushida needed this win by far because he literally just got jobbed out in like 2 minutes.
Right, yeah. By one of the bottom guy on the block.
So, but Kushida ends up beating Desperado 18 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, would you agree on this night, nothing over not even 4 stars?
Yeah.
Okay. But I thought it was still a very good night.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, everything was still good. Just that we've seen so many 4 or above matches in the beginning.
Yeah.
You expect that the whole way through.
So this brings us to night 11, which is the second to last night for the A block.
Yeah, so we had Bushi defeating Flip Gordon, Ishimori defeating ACH, Ospreay defeating Tiger Mask, and in the main event, Yo defeating Kanemaru.
I really liked the Yo versus Kanemaru match. It wasn't like a classic or anything, but just Yo getting the win in general, and I didn't think he was going to. And I thought Kanemaru was good in this match too.
So did I. I was actually surprised that this match was the main event.
I think everybody gets like an opportunity at some point, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the point of the tour. So I wasn't that surprised, but yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, how about Bushi beating Flip Gordon? So yeah, Bushi, we kind of both, I think, had him doing pretty well in our tournaments.
Yeah.
And then he like went on a big losing streak. So, you know, it kind of made sense him going over Flip.
Yeah, they both ended up being tied up at 3-3 with Bushi getting that win.
And then Ishimori beating... I thought Ishimori and ACH was really, really good. Especially with the history between those guys.
Right, because they were tag partners, and they were in, the junior tag league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of like coming full circle, basically. And for me, that was the match of the night, pretty much. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Yo versus Kanemaru, I really dug as well. But again, this was kind of the same thing, like second to last night, and it seemed like people were just kind of going through the motions. The only guy who really seemed desperate to me on this whole night was Yo.
Yeah.
Yo was... Every single night, Yo seemed desperate.
Yeah, every single match, like, you can just see, like, he had great facials. Like, he'd, like, hit, like, a move or get, like, a cradle. He'd be like, dang it, I'm so desperate. I need to get this win. Like,
Yo would come out, and I'd be like, I don't know about this guy. And then he'd start performing, and I'd be like, I know about this guy. He's freaking awesome. Yeah, just the tassels, bro.
Yeah, he's got to lose the tassels.
But that brings pretty much, and then Will Ospreay beat Tiger Mask.
Yeah, this is probably the weakest Ospreay match of the whole tournament.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
and Tiger Mask's just like, F it, whatever. Like, I'm not winning this tournament.
I'm not going over.
It's not 2005, you know.
Yeah.
Night 11, best of the Super Juniors was...
that was this night 11 we went over, so we're on a 12.
Oh, my bad.
That's all right. We're on to 12 now, which was a B block night. We had Sabin defeating Desperado, Skrull defeating Taguchi, Takahashi defeating Sho, and in the main, Kushida defeating Dragon Lee.
Great match. So this was... This is good. Chris Sabin. What did you think about Chris Sabin Desperado?
I thought it was all right.
I found it tough to get through. At this point, I was like binging.
Yeah.
And Chris Sabin, I don't know, it was only 12 minutes, but it felt like a 25-minute match for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was just like no heat for the match. Neither guy really seemed like they were like in desperation to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then, Marty and Taguchi was good, but it was a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
And it was fine, and Marty's great at that stuff, but, like, remember when I said when we were doing the preview for this, I was like, man, Marty's, like, in almost no main events, and you were kind of mentioning maybe this year they're not really going to showcase him. They really did not showcase the guy on this tournament.
And I think it's a couple different things. I think they probably didn't showcase him, one, because, like, he's probably not going to be in the junior title picture anytime soon. So they probably didn't want to put him too forefront.
Maybe not even the division.
Right. And then also, what was my other point I was going to say about Skrull? Oh, just he's gotten so good to adjust. Like, he's so over.
He doesn't need it.
Right. He can do less now. And people still, like, pop and give him crazy reactions.
Yeah, he has his spot in the company and just in the industry in general is so established that, like, he doesn't have to have, like, the most fantastic showing. And that's not, like, an excuse for laziness or anything. I'm just saying he doesn't have to be the guy that gets highlighted or displayed for the whole tournament.
Right.
Because look what's happened. We'll talk about it, but I mean, he's moving right into a big program immediately after the tournament's over. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's high profile enough to where, like, he can afford to be kind of on the back burner and then do something big right afterwards. But I was a little surprised. I didn't think it was a fantastic tournament for him by any means.
No, definitely not at all. However, I did love the finish of this match. They did the Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle spot.
Oh, where he took off the boot, the WrestleMania 24?
Yeah, he unties it. That wasn't 24. That was
20. My bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking of 2004, and that's at 24.
Yeah, he unties his shoe. Taguchi comes back, puts the ankle lock on, pulls it off, rolls him up.
Hiromu and Sho,
dude,
was very good.
Yeah, dude, they opened this match up with big strikes and clothesline, and just really going at it this whole match. Sho, I mean, he didn't have the best record in the B block, but he was really out there going toe-to-toe with these top guys, these former champions, and just really continuing to break out.
Yeah, I mean, I had Sho in like 4 really, really good matches out of the 7 that he had. So, I mean, and every match he had was good in general. So, but he had like 4 great matches. So, yeah, Sho is definitely like one of the breakout guys, like someone who, and we just keep saying it, like they did so many favors for this guy in this tournament.
Right.
I think the other performers know it too.
Especially with him being in a block like this with guys like Skrull,
with the stacked block.
Hiromu,
Yep.
Dragon Lee, all these either former champions or just really, really good workers.
Well, let's look at the guys that I thought he had great matches with up to this point. Dragon Lee just was incredible.
Yes.
Kushida was incredible, and then Hiromu, and then he had a match on night 13 night 13 with Skrull.
Yep.
We'll get to that, but all these guys were pretty much former champions or are elite guys, but he had 4 very different matches with each one of those guys and still managed to hang with them and like he can do everything. Like he's awesome.
Yeah, man, he's gonna be a big star in the maybe even heavyweight division, but definitely in the junior division.
Did you hear the rumors that he's angling for a never title shot?
Yeah, he said that like in an interview or something like that, right?
I saw someone posted on like Reddit or not Reddit, Twitter.
Okay.
But I think it was like a translation from one of the Japanese magazines while they were doing interviews for the tournament.
Yeah.
And he was saying that that's his ultimate goal, is like he's trying to finessing.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to see a shock arrow on Goto.
What? Oh, man, that's rough. you want Goto to die? Oh man.
So yeah, the main event of this night, Kushida and Dragon Lee. I really loved this match. I thought this was a great match.
Yeah, I agree.
I know we criticized like the sense of urgency. I felt like this match did have that sense of urgency.
It did, because you know what? It legit like set up one, like who's gonna have the opportunity to win the tournament.
Right.
Like this is one of the biggest matches of the whole tournament at this point.
Right, because I mean both of these guys were in at 6 points right here.
Yeah.
So they needed this one to move up in the block.
Pretty much, if you like, this was do or die. If you lost this match, not that you couldn't win, but I mean, you'd have to.
Your chances were slim.
Your chances are so slim after this. You'd need so many things to work out in your favor on the last night.
Yeah, I mean, this match, it was a great pace. They did a lot of good submissions, a lot of big moves and dives. 2 guys that work different styles, but came off as like almost being like mirror images of each other, but in a weird way. Like, like they don't have the same background, but because their characters are very similar and like their drive and determination, they like mirrored each other a lot throughout the match. And that was the story, was that like neither guy could get the upper hand over the other one. That like every time one guy thought he was ahead, the other guy would kind of jump ahead and outsmart him. Yeah.
And there was a lot of drama in this match.
Yeah, loved it.
So ultimately, Kushida ends up getting the win. He hit the Back to the Future out of nowhere, which is something else I liked. It's kind of like what I was mentioning, how they were always like one step ahead of each other. It wasn't like one guy like caught one dude and then set him up for his finisher and all that. Even though like the Back to the Future is a finisher, he kind of caught it, like it wasn't set up and all that. He caught him out of nowhere.
Right, yeah.
So it was like a flash finish. And so it was like he had to outthink Dragon Lee basically. And that was pretty much it for Dragon Lee at that point. And it sent Kushida, with 8 points going into the finals, giving him a very good shot at winning this, the B block.
Yeah. So that moves us on to night 13, which, I'm telling you right now, this is a show of the year candidate.
Yeah.
All singles matches from both blocks, and this was
just that makes it a show of the year candidate.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great show from top to bottom. Opened up with ACH defeating Tiger Mask. ACH comes out with a Tiger Mask on. He loves Tiger Mask 4. And so he was paying tribute to him. It's kind of weird that he loves Tiger Mask 4 in particular so much when, why not love the original Tiger Mask? But
yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about ACH to say he loves Tiger Mask 4 specifically, but apparently I guess that's what Dave Meltzer was saying, was that that's the one that he likes and idolizes. And I don't get it, man. He's not Sayama.
Yeah.
He's not Mizawa. We don't really know who Tiger Mask 4 is, but I did think, I don't know, that's interesting to me,
Yeah, and it's funny, throughout, we had Chase Owens on commentary.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
hilarious the whole night.
I thought Chase was fine.
I don't know. I was cracking up.
I know you really liked him, and it seemed like a lot of people liked him, and I'm a huge Chase mark, but I think that with time he'll get better. I thought of all the English-speaking guys that they brought in, he did better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He seemed like it was one-liners.
Right.
That's all.
That's all it was. But I don't know. I guess I enjoyed that. But in this match,
you like what you like, man.
He was kind of joking about ACH being Tiger the Dark.
Oh yeah. He was like he seems so comfortable in that mask.
Yeah, it looks so familiar. I can't put my finger on it. So yeah,
Kevin Kelly kept being like, "We'll talk about it later. We're not doing this here."
Right. Kevin Kelly stopping that man from exposing the business. But yeah, this was a quick 8-minute match. Nothing too special here.
I mean, ACH at this point is 2-4. Tiger Mask is 3-3. Neither guy, they're pretty much both out at this point.
Right. ACH, he got the win here. He countered the Tiger suplex into a cradle.
Yeah. So ACH picks up 2 points, giving him a 3-4 mark, and giving Tiger Mask a 3-4 mark. So
yeah,
good tournament for both of those guys.
Yeah, big show of respect at the end there.
Yeah, I was worried. I was like, is Tiger Mask gonna think that this is disrespect and he's gonna just start
palm striking him?
Yeah,
or shooting on it,
shooting on this dude. What's gonna happen?
Treat him like a young boy. So next up we had Bushi against Kanemaru. Bushi went in 3-3. Kanemaru's 2-4. We know these guys have been rivaling over the junior tag titles with LIJ versus Suzuki-gun.
Yeah, so kind of continued that whole storyline. And I know earlier in the tournament, Desperado had picked up a win over Hiromu.
Right.
So this was kind of the flip side of that.
Right.
In the block.
If Bushi could win here, it probably would have given them a little leverage to get a junior tag title match, but he failed to win. Kanemaru got the win here.
I like Bushi's backslide. You remember the spot where Kanemaru had the Satori surprise and he was going to spray it out?
Yeah, and then he covered his mouth and blew the mist in his face and rolled him up.
And he didn't get the 1-2-3 off of it, which really surprised me because that roll up was sick. And it's not much that Bushi's done in this whole tournament that I've liked. I literally don't think I've liked almost any Bushi match the whole tournament, including the Will Ospreay match.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, man.
I think Bushi flosses and stunts so hard with his masks and his gimmicks and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's not really all that talented.
Yeah.
I'm not big on Bushi. He has the Bushirooney and all that, but this tournament was one of those tournaments where you really need to show up and do something. And I mean I wasn't even a little bit impressed with Bushi.
Yeah.
Kanemaru, it wasn't I loved Kanemaru either, but he had shining moments. There were certain matches where he did well.
Yeah, he definitely, that whole grumpy heel character really worked well with some of the opponents.
Bushi's just like too cool for school. He's doing the whole Tranquilo thing. Like I'm just like, but he's not really that good or that talented. And Chase Owens kept talking about how no one likes him.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like a lot of people say that on commentary. So I'm wondering, like, what is that deal?
Like if there's like a backstory.
Is it like a legit thing, or is it just like a rib, or what is it? I don't know. But yeah, so Kanemaru ends up getting hit him with the Whiskey Miss, Deep Impact for the finish. 1, 2, 3. This wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, it tied both of those guys up at 3 and 4 with 6 points apiece. Then we moved into a B block match with Taguchi against Chris Sabin. Taguchi coming in 2 and 4, Sabin 3 and 3. There was some comedy in this match.
It's a Taguchi match.
Yeah.
I just wish Taguchi never turned it on, really. Like there's a few moments in certain matches, and then he had that great match with Takahashi.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Usually
we did not get tournament Taguchi this year.
We did not. It was weird, but I guess it's just one of those things. I mean, he was in a really stacked block, and I know Taguchi is he's a great worker, but you look at him compared to the guys that he's in there with and how they're pushed all year long.
Yeah, I was going to say,
compared to how he's pushed.
Not just the talent side of things, because it's not all about the talent. Like, Taguchi's as talented as anybody else that wrestles that's out there. It's the kayfabe side.
Yeah.
It's like, is Taguchi going to beat all these dudes?
Yeah,
although I kind of thought he would play spoiler and win quite a few and do well, because that's just what he does.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did get that upset over Kushida.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, all year long he's booked in these 8-man, 10-man tags with Team Taguchi Japan. Meanwhile, you got guys like Hiromu and Skrull and Takahashi,
champions.
They're former champions.
Well, he is too.
Yeah. But I'm consistent.
But they're being booked on that level currently.
Consistently.
Yeah. So I mean, Taguchi and Chris Sabin, they have a good match, 11 minutes. I did like the ending sequence with the ankle lock.
Yeah.
It was a little bit sloppy, but it was good transitioning. Really, really, really good. And it was this is what I was talking about. Little shadows of Tournament Taguchi would kind of come out. And this was one of those moments where solid match with a really good finish.
Yeah. Yeah, he hit the Dodon and then went back to the ankle lock and got Sabin to tap out.
And so Sabin, and that ended his tournament run with 3 and 4. Taguchi with 3 and 4. So these last 3 matches, all 6 guys end with 3 and 4.
Yeah,
kind of makes it difficult for you to win the tournament if you've only got 6 points. And that brings us to Dragon Lee, who's at this point 3 and 3, taking on El Desperado, who was 2 and 4.
And dude, this was
the first match that started what is one of the best runs of matches on a single card all year long.
Yeah. Dragon Lee came out there with the Shibata t-shirt.
Yeah, I liked that. What's the backstory with that? Because I wasn't too sure.
I was trying to figure out. They mentioned a little bit on commentary and Wrestling Observer Radio, something about Dragon Lee being a big fan of Shibata.
Who isn't?
Right. And I don't know if there's more. I don't know if they've actually met before, if they're friends, or if they've trained together, or wrestled together, or what.
I imagine that they're best friends, and that they've trained together, and that Dragon Lee is helping.
They have a ring together, like Kenny and Bushi.
I see it more like Rocky 3. He's helping Shibata get the Eye of the Tiger back.
Gotcha.
And there's going to be a montage of them running on the beach in short shorts and tank tops. And they're trying to race each other as hard as they can. And then they're jumping up and hugging each other. And then they get still frames frozen there. And that's how I see it.
It's a very interesting view on it.
We will be doing a Rocky podcast one of these days. Caleb Baldwin, if you're listening. Rich Latta, I know you're listening. James Boyd, I know you're not. We will be doing a Rocky podcast one of these days. Yeah. It's my favorite movie.
But he's wearing the Shibata shirt, and Desperado kind of disrespects it. And then we get the hot start there with Dragon Lee with that big dive. and then things just blew up from there.
Yeah, these guys just started going at it, man.
Yeah, they were going ham and a lot of ripping back and forth of each other's masks. And then get to the point where Dragon Lee, like, I don't know.
He'd already ripped Dragon Lee's mask, like, pretty substantially at one point, but not enough to where, like, his identity is still concealed, but Dragon Lee just freaking
ripped.
He ripped
Desperado.
it like till it was nothing.
And there's a lot of question of whether or not that was planned. We had a question from Gentlemanly Dragon. He goes like, "Was it just me, or was Dragon Lee really for a shoot sorry about tearing Despy's mask
No.
so much in their Best of Super Junior match?" He said his expression reminded me of Booker T's face after his Hogan promo.
Hulk Hogan?
We coming for you.
We coming for you. No, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, I didn't know if his mask was supposed to rip that much.
This is the second night of the tournament where Desperado got his mask ripped, right?
Yeah.
He also got the white mask ripped. Who was that against? Was that against Hiromu?
Yeah. But I mean, this was like completely like ripped.
We were watching this and I was like thinking to myself, I was like, if I was a wrestler and I was spending money on these gimmicks, right? Someone ripped my mask, they better ask my like permission before the match starts.
Right, yeah.
Or they better pay me some money or something.
Yeah, I was doing some tweeting on our Twitter account at KI Strong Style, and I was
At
like,
KI Strong Style.
I was like, yeah, man, if I was a luchador and somebody ripped my mask, we'd have heat.
Ooh, I'd be pissed, dude. I'd be pissed because I don't know how much a mask costs, but I imagine they're expensive.
Well, I know like Bushi talks about spending like $3,000-$4,000.
I'd be like, yo, this is my only mask, like on the whole tour. Like, what are you doing?
Right, yeah, bro. Like, I'm gonna have to like borrow like almost like a buy a mask from like the merch stand.
Maybe they'll end up wearing their non-working mask.
Their public mask. Which, side note, I think it's hilarious that friend of the show Blanco Loco, who we interviewed, like I see like on Facebook, like he'll be like in Disney World, like the movie theaters, like wearing his mask, and I think it's hilarious.
I've seen his true identity.
I know, yeah, I've seen it too, but it's funny that I feel like he as far as like picture wise, he tries to portray that he wears the mask everywhere he goes.
Oh, he does. Only I was revealed his true identity.
But yeah, back to this. Yeah, he ripped the mask, but the cool thing was Desperado was able to use his hair to cover his face. He worked like the last 2 or 3 minutes of this match with his hair in his face and conceal his identity, and still was able to perform.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd mentioned and said that was the first time you'd ever seen that, right?
What the
fact of him like using his hair to conceal his identity.
Yeah. And
like for me, I want to say I think Liger had to do that in the Naoki Sano match in 1990. That was their fourth match, which was like match of the year for Wrestling Observer. Just classic. Really, 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 really. It's like one of the bloodiest New Japan matches ever. And Sano, I never know if it's Sano or Sano. I don't know, but Naoki just freaking rips Liger's mask off, and he's bleeding everywhere. And like they actually refer to him by his what is his Kiji Yamada? Yeah, they're like Kiji, because they know that like. You know, it's not the same thing as like in Mexico. They know the guys under the mask who they really are.
Yeah.
And they're like, Kiji. But like, yeah, but he was still trying to maintain some kayfabe. And so when Liger had hair, because I don't know if he does have hair anymore.
I don't think he does.
I can't tell. But he was trying to conceal his hair or his identity with his hair as well, which was very similar to like what Desperado was doing. Oh, you know what we didn't even talk about? I guess we'll talk about it later. It's fine. We're just going to the matches. There was a big announcement the night before, and we like glossed over it.
Oh yeah.
Or actually, was it on this night?
It was this night.
Okay, we'll get to it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually after this match. But to finish this matchup, Desperado, he hit a low blow and cradled Dragon Lee for the pin here. Post match, he ripped off Dragon Lee's mask, and Dragon Lee tweeted out, "Mask versus mask. I think I found my new opponent." So I don't know if it's actually gonna happen, but
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see them do a mask versus mask match. Dragon Lee's been in 2 of them and never lost, and he hasn't lost yet. So, that's one of the things, like in Mexico, if you win numerous of those, it adds prestige to your mask.
Right,
so
it makes your mask more valuable.
Yep.
Like Atlantis. Yep.
Yeah. But I thought that this was very, very, very good. And I'm all in on Desperado and Dragon Lee.
Oh yeah, man. This match had tons of heat. The crowd was really into this thing.
And then so basically this match ends, and then we suddenly saw Hanma Mania.
Yeah. The recently married Hanma comes out.
Hanmania.
Big Pop comes out, and he announces that he will be returning to action on June 23rd during the Kazuna Road Tour.
So how long has it been? 6 months, a year? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I probably should have that ready.
I'll look it up. Tomoaki Hama, though, this was a guy who toiled for years and years and years, trying to, like, make it. He's been in New Japan, but he was always, like, portrayed as, like, a jobber and a geek. He was in Great Bash Heel and just, was never able to, like, really break through, like, the glass ceiling.
Right.
Until, like, the last few years, like, with his G1 runs. And then, like, his feud with Ishii. And he was still portrayed, for the most part, as a jobber. But, like, he was the guy who would go into the G1 and
be
lose
a spoiler.
he would lose every single match. And it would be like, is he going to win a single match?
Yeah.
And that endeared Hanma, like, to the fans. Like his runs in the G1 are, like, some of the most legendary, because every night he'd have fantastic match. After fantastic match, he just couldn't beat anybody until finally, like, after he finally, like, defeated Ishii, and then, like, him and Makabe were tag teaming. They finally, like, they won the tag tournaments. They finally started to give him a push. They won the tag titles and everything like that. And then March 3rd in 2017, he took hung rope DDT from Jado, the kind that Randy Orton does.
Yeah.
Hangman's DDT. And it broke his neck. Couldn't move. They had to stop the match. They thought he injured his cervical vertebrae, and it was pretty much announced that, like, he was maybe never gonna wrestle again.
Right.
And, like, he couldn't move. Like, they thought he was gonna be paralyzed. And now the dude is gonna be working again. And on June 23rd, it's gonna be him and Makabe. They put out a challenge, so I don't know who they'll be wrestling, but it'll be at the Kazuna Road Show.
Yeah, open challenge.
So I mean, we talked about this back in December. Like, we'd give you an update when we heard something about Hanma, and, like, they kind of kept it, like, low key and under wraps. And, like, Hanma's back, man. So
Can we see the reformation of Great Bash Heel with Makabe, Hanma, and
well, they are Great Bash Heel.
Yeah, I'm blanking on what's the young boy that teams with Makabe.
You're talking about
why am I not remembering his name right now?
You not remembering it is making not remember it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Toa Henare.
Yeah. Wow.
You think Toa Henare is going to join Great Bash Heel with them?
Could be. I mean, Makabe has been his guy.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's definitely, like, something that could happen. Maybe Tenzan will rejoin.
Man.
But yeah, so I mean, two, like, final members of Great Bash Heel that are still together, and they tag. So I think that's gonna be a very emotional moment when he finally does come back, and I think it'll be like a front runner for, like, Fighting Spirit Award.
Yep.
So, congratulations, Hanma. We're glad to see you back. I can't wait to see the Kokeshi. Want to see somebody get headbutted?
Hanma Mania gonna be running wild, brother.
And that brings us to the last couple matches of night 13. So we ended up after Dragon Lee and Desperado, we got Will Ospreay versus Flip Gordon.
Oh man, the Flip Forever match.
Yeah.
Dude,
what were your thoughts here?
Dude, I love this match. This was amazing. Like, dude, if you love high spots, if you love high flying, this was the match for you. These guys literally flip after flip, dive after dive, landing on their feet from crazy dives.
That's what was just driving me, like throwing me off, or not even throwing me off, just like, I was just like, how do they do this?
Like, I feel like my ankles would shatter.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm just like, how are they so perfect all the time? Like, what can you do in your own free time to, like, make yourself as a human being be prepared to do this sort of stuff, you know?
And I thought this was a really good showing from Flip Gordon. Probably one of his best matches of the tournament, next to the ACH match. I think I might like this one a little bit better than the ACH match. But I mean, yeah, lots of great high spots and near falls. Both of these guys just doing only the things that these two guys could do.
Yeah, that's one of the things I enjoyed about it. I didn't think in any sense that it was like a classic, as far as like, you know, it wasn't like a catch as catch can like showcase, but the athleticism of what they can do is just out of this world. Plus, they are both very good workers. I feel like Will Ospreay right now is where like Flip could be in a few years, as far as like being a great worker.
Yeah.
Because Flip's very impressive, and he has a lot of great qualities, but there's a lot of things he's missing. He's a very incomplete worker right now.
I mean, he's still young in the game. Only has like 3 years of experience.
But his athleticism, man, it's literally like they're very. I mean, when it comes to the flips and all that, he is in the same league as Ricochet and as Will Ospreay already right now. Yeah. I don't think that this was in anywhere near the kind of like league that, you know, I wouldn't say that this was like Ospreay versus Ricochet or anything like that.
No.
But I mean, for someone like me who binge watched this entire tournament and was just like back to back to back, and this was like just last night that I watched this.
Yeah.
And I was like pretty tired. This placement on the card was like the perfect placement. The thing though, one of the interesting things was like Will's going in with 8 points. Flip's going in with 6. So at this point, really, Flip can win. He has to beat Will Ospreay and then has to hope Ishimori loses.
Yeah.
So that and that's his only way of winning.
Yeah.
So he's almost basically playing spoiler. Whereas if Will wins, then he has an opportunity to win as long as Yo
wins,
beats Ishimori. So it creates a very interesting scenario. But these guys were both hungry. They really, really, really wanted it. This was probably the flippiest match of the tournament. I don't know if I liked it better than ACH and Flip. I really liked the ACH and Flip match.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's a lot of great stuff here. Definitely, I recommend watching this match.
Would you say what do you think was Will Ospreay's best match of the tournament up to this point? Was it this, or would you say like the Ishimori match?
It'd be between this and the Ishimori match. Probably leaning more towards the Ishimori match.
The Ishimori match was good, or the ACH match was good too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, this was one of the like wildest matches of the tournament by far, and that's something I really appreciated about this tournament. It's just how many different types of matches. In years past, we didn't get this sort of thing. We did not get this wide variety of different types of matches. You know what I mean?
Right. You had a hybrid of styles.
This is
showcased in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean this is a tournament that really did like elevate the junior division in New Japan. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Will Ospreay ends up getting the win over Flip. You know, tell us what happened.
Yeah, so pretty much coming down to the end, Ospreay hit a super kick, and then the SX Destroyer. Gordon kicks out. Ospreay takes Gordon up top, follows him up, and Ospreay looks for a top rope Stormbreaker,
which I don't think you can do
without like killing them.
I don't think it's one of those things that can physically be done.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just like, how would you even do that?
Yeah, I can't even picture it.
I can't either.
So, but Gordon fought out. They trade strikes on top. Ospreay then hits the Oz Cutter out of midair and falls up with the Stormbreaker.
Yep.
Gets the win and gets 10 points and has a chance of winning the block.
Great match. One of Flip's best in the tournament. It's something where they made it seem like Gordon could have definitely won, and he had a really, really, really solid tournament, and it sets up a scenario where Ospreay can win the tournament at this point if everything goes right for him. That brings us to the final A block match of the regular tournament, where we get Taiji Ishimori versus Yo, and it's real simple at this point. If Ishimori wins, he's the A block champion because of the fact that he will finish with the tie against Will Ospreay, but he won on the first night against Will Ospreay. If he loses, he will end with 8 points. Ospreay has 10, and Ospreay wins the A block for the third year in a row.
Right. But that did not happen for Ospreay. Ishimori was able to defeat Yo. However, throughout this match, man, they had me hooked. I honestly felt several times throughout this match that Yo was going to get the upset victory over Ishimori. I mean, was literally kind of like what we were talking about him, where he goes into that desperation mode, and Yo was just trying everything he could, every big move, pinning combination he possibly could.
Yeah, we talked about this, and I was already kind of spoiled on the finals at this point. So we were talking about it, and you're like, yeah, the Yo versus Ishimori match is great. And I was like, yeah, I bet it is. And you're like, dude, I kept thinking Yo was going to win. And I was like, no way. Like, because it just... Obviously, we both predicted Ishimori to win the tournament and to win the block. So it's like, how would you even think that Yo could possibly win? And then last night we watched this match, and with me knowing full well what's going to happen, I was like, Yo's about to beat him.
You get a word.
Like, I was like, you told me that you were getting like basically what you thought, and I was like, you were getting worked. And then I watched it, and I let myself get worked. I was like, man, Yo's really good. I was like, Yo's about to beat this man. Like, he had like 4 or 5 near falls in a row, and like they made him look like a star in this match.
Yeah, and then I think too that also helped. You had Ospreay
on the outside,
trying to act like he cared about his Chaos brother, but in reality, we all know Ospreay just cares about himself and just wanted Yo to win so that he could win the block.
That's totally true. He does just care about himself.
Because why wasn't he there for show?
Why wasn't he there for me? WrestleMania weekend when I needed him.
Oh, yeah. He didn't want to put us over.
But, that's neither here nor there. But, yeah, so Ishimori, basically he survives this unbelievable barrage of near falls from Yo, and then ends up countering the O'Connor roll into a crossface. Yo fights as much as he possibly can, but eventually has to succumb to it wasn't even the crossface, it's the label lock.
Yeah.
But Ishimori defeats Yo at 15 minutes via submission, and to me this was Yo's best match of the tournament.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, the layout of the whole match was great. The crowd was into it. Bunch of drama with Yo fighting with all he had. Like I mentioned, you had Ospreay out there.
How about Ospreay's face at the end of the match? It was like a gif.
Dude, and that camera shot was perfect with Ospreay, like the press, and then like Ishimori, like in the over the shoulder, like behind him, like in his shadow kind of looking thing.
And so I felt so proud to be right about the guy winning the block. And I think we had both of us booked the same scenario, basically, that these guys would end up tying. And with Ishimori getting the tiebreaker and kind of going on. And I'm sure we're not the only ones who booked it that way. Listeners, I think a lot of us probably think like Gato.
Yeah, and I'll be going through the brackets this week, and we'll announce the winner next week.
We have a lot of those to go through.
Yeah, and I was gonna like print those out at work and like finesse and use paper and ink, but it's like 480 pages because of like the multiple options of matches. So yeah.
480 pages?
Yeah, because of all, like, one entry has like all those multiple matches on it. So it's a lot of pages just for...
I don't understand. How come we can't just get it all on one page?
Because of the way the Google form was, not the spreadsheet. Remember, not everybody...
I use the spreadsheet.
Most people did the Google form.
Man, y'all lazy.
There's only a few people that did the spreadsheet.
Who was it that told us to use that Google form? It was someone on Reddit. They were like, why don't you guys just do a Google form?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, guy. Now we can't even get our freaking brackets off. Well, it looks like no one's getting the free shirt. I guess I gotta get the free shirt.
No. I won't print them out, but I will be adding the point. I'll be going through the brackets on my computer.
We just gotta see like who had the most accurate points total. That's the simple way.
Right. Yeah.
Whoever's the closest is the winner.
Yeah. So we'll figure all that out and announce the T-shirt winner.
Oh, by the way, there was someone here. I'm gonna shout him out actually because I was online, and guys, if you're interacting with us online, it's always Jeremy. It's literally like never me because I'm terrible at like responding to stuff.
Well, as far as Twitter, you have your own Reddit account.
I don't barely use it, bro. But Dan J. Barnsley replied just the other day, and he said that he got 37 matches out of the 56 accurate. And he's like, for my first go, I'm really happy. And I was like, hey, man, that's really impressive. I think he got more than I did. I think I only ended up with like 32.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, we're recording night, so I'll give you a shout out. So Dan J. Barnsley, 37. You probably didn't win the free T-shirt, my friend, but you did really well, and you definitely beat me.
Yeah, I know. I haven't added mine up, but I know you beat me.
Definitely beat Jeremy.
But yeah, we'll add all those up. I mean, who knows? Maybe he does get the win with 37.
Maybe. Yeah. Also, I was talking to Richard Latta today, and he actually was with someone who was a fan of our show. So his buddy Zach, who I don't even know, and he's like, Zach was like, what's up? And I was like, hey man. He's like, I listen to your show, and I was like, great. He's like, I sent in a bracket, and he's like, I got the finals right. So am I getting the free shirt? And I was like, I don't know, but I'll give you a shout out on the show.
Shout out to Zach. Who knows? Maybe you win a shirt. Stay tuned for next week.
Zach, it would be sweet if you won the shirt because we'll just buy the shirt and we'll just hand deliver it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Save us a ton on shipping costs.
Yeah, or I think Ben did pretty good in the tournament, too.
Who's Ben?
Or Jimmy Flips.
Jimmy Flips is the only person I know.
That'd be another hand delivery there. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a winner in like Japan or the UK or Australia.
It's not gonna be a hand delivery. Not hand delivering that. I would love to go there, but maybe Chris. If Chris Bryan did, maybe.
Oh yeah, co-host of Grown Men Watch This Shit.
I think he's coming here.
Oh, he's coming to the States?
I think so.
He's coming to Daytona, or just coming?
I think he's coming to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
We gotta hit him up.
Yeah. So let's get back to the conclusion of this night. So next up was Marty Scurll taking on Show. Marty Scurll was still alive. If he won this match, and then he had to hope for Kushida and Hiromu to tie in order for him to win the block. So it was kind of, even if he won, very slim chances of him winning.
Who, Marty?
Yeah, winning the overall block.
How would that work out if he beat?
So he had to beat Sho, and then Hiromu and Kushida would have to tie.
How would that make him the winner?
Because they would both end with 9 points.
Oh, he would end with so they 10. Would have to go to like a draw.
Yeah.
Okay, because you said tie. I was like, if they both have equal points. Okay.
Sorry, yeah, time limit draw.
Time limit draw. Okay, so then they end up with 9 points, and he'd win.
With 10.
Yeah, because he already lost to both of them, basically.
Right.
So this basically had no meaning behind it except for it's just for pride.
Right.
Gotcha.
I mean, they did kind of paint that picture that draw could happen, but I mean, realistically,
it has happened before though. Yeah. I'm being pessimistic and being like, oh no, I guess it. But hey, Hiroki Goto did make it into the finals one time.
Yep.
And the way that was booked, no one
saw that coming.
No.
But yeah, Sho was able to get the big upset victory here.
Yeah, this is definitely the biggest like win of the tournament for him, and the biggest win of his like singles career.
Yeah.
First time these guys ever wrestled too. Yeah,
I mean, this was a really great match. It's a lot of good back and forth. Scurll was the aggressor in this match. The more experienced guy. But Sho was still fighting back and had a lot of great offense.
Yeah, Sho freaking killed it, man. I mean, the match with Dragon Lee, Kushida, Takahashi, and then now this match. Like, Sho just was a stud in this tournament, man.
Yeah. And I mean, in this match, man, just to continue to, mix that power.
What'd you think of Chase Owens being upset about the shock arrow?
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. He's like, yeah, man, he's using my move. He's got to pay me for that.
He basically is using his move. All he's doing is crossing the arms. Nothing else is different.
Right.
And, that's the move that Chase is known for in New Japan.
Except Chase doesn't win that much.
Yeah, he does.
And he was like, I already taught Skrull how to counter to this.
Yeah, but he wasn't crossing the arm, so it's different.
Right.
Oh, man. But, yeah, this match was really, really, really good. I mean, think about this. Desperado versus Lee, Ospreay versus Flip, Ishimori Yo, and then Sho versus Skrull, all about 4 stars, man.
Yeah.
You can't really ask for more. Like, this is... Like, we talked about how good Night 1 was. This night blew Night 1 out of the water, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, blew it out of the water. Incredible. And then big upset win for Sho. Like, Sho ended up with, 6 points in this tournament?
Yes.
I did not have Sho winning 3 matches in this tournament.
I have to look back at my I think I did have him winning at least 3.
I didn't. And then that brings us to our final match of the night, which is the de facto B block finals. So we get Hiromu Takahashi 4-2, Kushida 4-2. Obviously, we kind of know the history between Hiromu and Kushida going back to last year, which I would call that like the junior feud of the year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And this match did not fail to deliver. For me, it's one of the absolute best matches of the entire tournament.
Yeah, this was a tremendous match, and it just continued to add to their rivalry. And these guys know each other so well now, and if you've been watching their rivalry, there's a lot of callbacks to moves and counters and stuff from previous matches. Both guys working their submissions, the hoverboard lock and the triangle. And I mean, just how this match even started up, I mean, it was basically like 5 minutes of just collar and elbow tie lockup.
Trying to figure each other out.
Yeah, trying to get the upper hand. But yeah, after that, man, the intensity just kept going up. The crowd was in it. There was a lot of drama. But in the end, it was the ticking time bomb.
This is one of those matches I'm going to have to go back and watch, because for me, I will say this. I'll just be transparent. After watching 50 other matches,
yeah,
it got tough. It got tough for me, honestly. And I was I just remember the emotion of it. You know what I mean? I'll have to rewatch it to catch the technical stuff, but the crowd was so into it. The emotion of it is what really stood out to me, and the drama at the end with a submission teases and then the final submission, that high drama at the last 5 minutes is what really drew me into that match.
Yeah, and then I mean, this match had a pretty crazy finish where Takahashi just dropped Kushida on his head. It's double underhook pile driver thing.
You mean Hiromu did?
Yeah, he dropped Kushida on his head.
Yeah, that when that happened, I could not believe that's some All Japan 1996
Dude,
stuff.
I popped so I was like, oh my.
I didn't even, bro. Honestly, I didn't pop for it. I was scared. I was
I didn't pop not in a good way. I was like, oh my god. But yeah.
I'm why are they doing this?
Yeah.
There's certain things I just don't think the guy should be doing, and dropping a guy free fall on their head like that. These guys are professionals and they can mitigate some of the damage, but that's a move. It's too dangerous. I don't care. Someone's gonna get severely hurt, and if not, they're still gonna have their career shortened. I did not like that move at all.
Yeah, he did that and then locked on the triangle.
Yeah, I like that it's a triangle choke, but I almost feel like he should have a name for it.
I think he does have a name for it, but I don't remember what he calls it.
Yeah, I think he had him in the triangle, right? And then he got out, and then he dropped him on his head and then put him back in it.
Yeah.
Was that how it went?
Yep.
And at that point, Kushida had no choice but to tap out. And man, he's tapping I don't remember Hiromu like ever tapping anybody out, and then all of a sudden like he's tapped everybody out.
Yeah,
in the whole tournament.
It's been like a nice little wrinkle to add into his.
Man, he's so much more dangerous in the storyline. Like the storytelling, like in New Japan, is just it's incredible.
Yeah, it's great. So Hiromu got the win here, and I was kicking myself.
Why?
Because of my original bracket, I had Takahashi winning the B block, but I let myself get worked.
I didn't work you. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, listeners, I spoke from my own opinion and of my own cognizance, but I didn't like say, Jeremy, your idea about Takahashi.
I know, but you're just so convincing, and you're very knowledgeable.
I'm a good talker. That's why we do this podcast.
You're a good promo,
but I'm not always right. I don't always know who's going to win. In fact, like I said, there's 56 matches or 52, and I only got 30. Or is it 56? I don't know. There's a lot of matches.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And I still think Kushida should have gone to the final. Well, maybe not, but I thought that Kushida was going to go to the finals because I thought Ishimori needed a good foil to defeat to establish his like dominance.
Yeah.
And that's why I did it. And I still think that would be a great way to go. And they didn't go that way, okay? And I don't know why you're kicking yourself because you should always follow me.
No, because I want it to be right.
I wanted to be right too. I honestly thought I was right. Actually, I didn't think Hiromu was going to beat Kushida, but you know what? It's one of those things again. There are not always, but there are sometimes little things with New Japan, little giveaways that like you look back in hindsight and you kick yourself in the head, and it's like, we should have known once this dude started triangle choking everybody to death that he was like gonna do well in this tournament.
Yeah.
And like that was the giveaway. Like he had a new move. When a guy gets a new move, it's kind of a big deal.
They get it over and then they use it to pick up wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hiromu wins the B block. We had Ishimori coming out for a little face off there, and the finals were set for A block winner Ishimori to take on the B block winner Hiromu Takahashi. So now we're on to the finals.
How excited were you for this finals?
Oh man, I was so hyped.
And so we'll just kind of go through a couple things here real quick. So the night started with Chris Sabin and Flip Gordon taking on Umino and Tiger Mask. 6 minute 40 second match. Nice way for, Chris Sabin and Flip Gordon to kind of cap off the tour. They got to wrestle, Tiger Mask and one of the young boys, Shota Umino. Umino got to shine in this match. Flip picks up the win, which kind of is a nice way to kind of send him off. We don't know if we'll be seeing ACH or I'm sorry, Sabin or Flip again in the future. But, they both had really good tournaments. Takes us into the second match. Ishii, Yano, and Yoshihashi, the team of Chaos, taking on Suzuki-gun, Taka Michinoku, Iizuka, and Minoru Suzuki. This is exactly what you would expect it to be.
Yep, yeah, nothing, no surprise here. Yano gets a low blow on Taka and cradles for the win. Suzuki's pissed, kills Young Boys after the match. And Chris Sabin joins the commentary at this point.
Which I thought Chris Sabin sucked on commentary. I
saw some people that were like, oh, Sabin was good. I was like,
nah.
Dude, that was Sabin Mark. And no, he was not good.
He was bad.
Like, half the time, like, he didn't even say anything.
Give me bad luck, Fale. I'm serious. You think I'm joking about that? I thought Fale was better, like much better. Yeah.
It was Dave Finlay.
Give me Dave Finlay, man. I bet you Juice would be great on commentary.
Oh yeah.
So then that took us to the third match of the night. We got Roppongi 3K, Shon Yo, as well as Hiroki Goto, the team of Chaos, taking on Suzuki-gun, Desperado, Kanemaru, and Taichi. And, this was what it was. It's just something to kind of set up a match between, we already
set up two matches.
Two matches, yeah.
Yeah, Sho and Yo against Desperado and Kanemaru for the junior tag titles. And then there's the three-way never title match with Goto, Taichi, and Elgin.
So it was good to see Sho and Yo kind of reunite after their tournament run. And then ultimately see them like kind of reestablish themselves, because I think that is the next step, to go back and get them freaking titles and do something with them. So,
yeah.
The fourth match of the night, Marty Scurll and Yujiro, the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi, took on Toa Hinare and Hiroshi Tanahashi, which I was a little surprised by this one for some reason. I don't know why. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but I didn't think Hinare was going to lose here.
Yeah. You were thinking what, Takahashi would eat a sling blade and a high fly flow?
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Or Scurll, either one. Yeah. I just thought Ace was going to go over.
Especially Scurll's the only junior heavyweight in this match. Everybody else is heavyweights.
Yeah, so I just figured that's what would happen, but no. Toa Hinare ended up eating the, what do you call it? What is his move? The kneeling DDT?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he ended up eating the DDT from Yujiro. Marty Scurll and Yujiro Takahashi pick up the win. And then let's talk about post-match, because we got an angle here going towards Dominion.
Yeah, so Bullet Club attacks. Scurll hits Tanahashi with the umbrella, locks on the chicken wing. Then Liger jumps up from commentary to make the save. And Scurll's, yelling at them, saying, "Give me Tanahashi and give me Mysterio." He's like, "I'm gonna
give me Liger. I'll kill all the legends."
And so Liger challenges him to a 6-man tag. Liger, Tanahashi, and Scurll.
You hear that, Django? A 6-man tag. Django was like, he challenged him to a triple threat match.
To a 3-way, yeah.
I was like, what?
Come here, like, oh, a 3-way.
A 3-way. Oh, a 3-way. That's how I am every time I get invited to a 3-way.
Oh my god.
I'm always like, oh. And for some reason, it never works out. Maybe it's because I do that. I don't know.
Yeah, so 6-man tag, Liger, Tana, and Mysterio against Scurll, Cody, and Hangman Page.
You're giving away the card already? Oh my god.
Sorry, jumping the gun there.
This is why no one's paying us to do this. No, I'm just playing. That took us to the next match of the night, which was 8-man tag. So we got LIJ, Bushi, Evil, Sonata, Tetsuya Naito taking on the team of the Super Juniors, ACH, Dragon Lee, Taguchi, and Kushida.
Yeah, this is a fun little match here.
I like this match.
ACH was cracking me up at the beginning, like cranking to the LIJ theme. The little dance.
Yeah, he kept doing the... You guys can't see me, but I'm doing the dance.
And then Naito was like...
They put the glasses on him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he kept going.
Yeah, Kushida's like silver little glasses, and then... Naito like came up and was like, keep dancing. I was like looking at him with the eye open and like kicked him in the butt.
Just
like
kicked him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this actually ended up being very, very fun. I mean, how could it not be when you're getting like 3 of the best juniors in the world and Taguchi?
Yeah.
Oh, you missed that joke. No, but right. when you got a team of Taguchi, Dragon Lee, ACH, and Kushida, I mean, that's a freaking stacked like little junior team. And then you got LIJ, which, we talk about it all the time. No one works as good as a unit as LIJ is.
Oh, yeah.
So, and 8 minutes, 20 seconds, no downtime. Everybody just hit all their marks. They were just going on all cylinders. I thought this match was great.
Yeah, great little multi-man match. Sonata gets a skull in on ACH for the submission victory.
He tapped quick, too.
Yeah, he did. And they played the Jericho video.
The lights go out.
Yeah, we got a Jericho pre-taped promo.
So something that was interesting about this, I don't know if you saw, they've got a special interview for Dominion up right now on New Japan World with Naito, and Naito talked about the night that he decided he was going to become a professional wrestler.
Yeah, 97.
Yeah, 1997, and I guess like Jericho had been on the card, but like by the time like he either had a non-prominent role or it was during a tournament and he got eliminated, so he didn't really make it an impression on Naito at all. And so then like that's what really like pissed off Jericho. Like, he heard what he was saying.
So Jericho was just talking about I was the main event in Wrestle Kingdom 12. Not you and Okada. That eats you alive. He's like, I'm gonna make you, when you step in the ring with me, I'm gonna help you become a worldwide star. It's like win, lose, or draw, and you're not gonna lose, and it's not gonna be a draw. He's like, I am gonna beat you.
Some of this stuff, the thing about Jericho's promo there that like kind of stuck out to me is like how much, even though it's not the full truth, like how much truth to it there actually is.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit, because he's talking about like how, this guy wants to be the main event, and like he did kind of steal that like spotlight and steal that, that attention away from him back in January.
Yeah. And he was like, you shouldn't be losing to Okada. You should be the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, but you're not. Like, that's where I'm coming. I'm going to help you get there, you effing moron. Don't you understand? Chris Jericho's going to take you to the promised land.
Yeah, like I saw someone else talk about like how, part of like the honesty of like the video kind of like hurts like Naito fans a little bit. Have you ever heard this theory? I don't remember who it is, but someone was talking about like when you're fighting somebody that they actually do this in fighting. I think it might be Floyd Mayweather actually, but like when you're fighting somebody that basically you can't sell something with, then, or like if you can sell like a ticket against them, it's gonna be a great fight and everything like that, and you want to sell tons of tickets, you'll basically tear them down. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you know that it's going to be hard to sell tickets with them or something like that, you kind of build them up.
Right. You make it like a big deal. Like,
and have you noticed, I'm not saying that Naito's not great, but have you noticed how he's been kind of like low key building up Naito in these promos?
Yeah. Like
how he's going to make him famous, even though it's derogatory. It's like he's saying, I'm going to make you famous and you're great and you're the best in New Japan and I'm going to beat you and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think Jericho's even talked about that in his book before, how like, why would you talk about how terrible someone is and then when you beat them it means nothing?
It makes you look bad. You're saying, oh, this guy sucks. Well, this guy sucks just beat you, so that means you suck.
Yeah, but if you build him up and you talk, so it's weird how he's like doing this balancing act of kind of tearing him down but kind of building him up all at the same time.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's really, really, really brilliant stuff. And if you haven't caught this promo, if you're listening, you probably have, but if you haven't caught the promo by Chris Jericho, you need to check this out. This is the second promo he's done, and I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
And then the lights come on, and
Naito is like acting like he's sleeping in the middle of the ring, and he's like, your promos are too long.
Yeah, he's like, you need to shorten it up a bit. He's like, can't this guy get to the point?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. We'll get to it. We'll talk to it. I really want to talk about that match, but we'll get to it. So then that brought us to the next match of the night, which was the semi-main event. It was a tag team match of Okada and Will Ospreay taking on
Kenny's boys.
Yeah, Team Kenny's boys. the golden
jewels.
gems. Yeah, the golden jewels.
Yeah,
which are they going to be like in the running for tag team of the year?
I don't think so.
Come on, man. They've tagged together a lot this year.
How much time have they won?
They've won a lot. They won our hearts. They won my heart.
But yeah, so this was kind of like a little preview. Well, not really a preview.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, Okada is going against two of Kenny's like best friends and former partners. Well, one current partner, one former.
Oh yeah, he is.
Let's not go there. But yeah, I mean, this was a fun match. Pretty much was a setup for Okada to send a message to Omega. And he does a V trigger.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what did you think of that freaking V trigger, bro?
It's probably one of the worst like thrown V triggers I've ever seen.
Do you know what it looked like? It reminded me of like when Jeff Hardy used to do the poetry in motion.
Yeah,
like he'd jump off his back and then like kind of, that's what Okada looked like. Like a mini version of like the poetry in motion. Yeah, except like it was except like hitting him with his knee. Like it looked terrible.
Yeah.
But I freaking loved it. Like, the only thing that would have made it better if he, like, chanted, like, Scooby-Dooby-Doo while he's doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's how goofy it was that he was doing that. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so, yeah, he hits the V-trigger Rainmaker for the win. And, man, we only got a little bit of Ibushi and Ospreay in this match, and when it was amazing.
Yeah, I need to see those guys wrestle, like, tomorrow.
Yeah, unfortunately,
we've seen them live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't had a chance and if you saw this match, you dug the interactions between them, they actually have had more interaction and more, like, you know, just sustained action during the Rev Pro show. There was a 6-man tag team match WrestleMania weekend. This is you can watch this on video on demand on the New Japan World app. I don't remember who was in the 6-man tag, but the two captains were basically Ospreay and Ibushi. And I mean, those two guys going head to head. For whatever reason, they have a lot of chemistry, man.
I know, but unfortunately, with Ibushi now being a heavyweight, we're going to have to wait for Ospreay to move up to see them have a match again.
Nah, he can cut some weight.
Would he want to?
I mean, why not? If I was a wrestler, I'd fluctuate between weights.
Between both weight classes?
Yeah, I would, like, cut weight, and then I'd balloon, and then I'd, like, cut weight, and it'd be great. I'd hold all the belts.
Be like a freaking Tangaloa who says he wants to be a junior.
Yeah, Tangaloa said that was the stupidest thing I ever heard.
On Killing the Town.
Did he really say that?
Yeah. He's like, I wish I could be a junior. He's like, I would cut down that. What are you talking about, dude? But yeah, so then this brings us to the main event, the finals, Takahashi versus Ishimori. And this was a banger. The longest match of the tournament, 34 minutes. Man, and these guys just went balls to the wall out here.
Yeah, so what were your overall thoughts on the finals match?
Man, I loved it, man. Like, these guys gave it everything they had and were going to kill each other to become the best of the Super Juniors. I mean, starting from the beginning where they're fighting out in the crowd and Ishimori, like, Hurricane Rana's. First Hiromi does, like, the drop kick on the concrete, but then he was gonna, like, powerbomb Ishimori down the stairs, but Ishimori reversed it and Hurricane Rana hit him down the stairs. And just from there, man, they were just doing some wild stuff back and forth. You know, both of these guys putting their bodies at risk, especially Takahashi, with all those crazy, like, drop kicks he does to the outside.
This is a match that I watched in a delirious state of wrestling stupor, and it still was near 5 stars for me.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would go 4 3/4 on it.
Yeah, same here.
But, man, this match just, like, it was a first-time meeting between Ishimori and Takahashi, first of all. You've got... I mean, I loved their stories going into it where, you know, like, Hiromu basically was just, like, the Iron Man of the tournament and just putting on all the great performances. And on the other side, you got Takahashi Ishimori, who, like, has slowly cultivated this heel persona where he's not the dazzling kid that's doing 450s and, you know, all the aerial stuff that he did when he was in, Noah and all that. He's the freaking Bone Soldier. Yeah. And he got people to boo him all throughout the tournament when they wanted to basically praise him for his technical abilities. And it was just a great matchup of styles, and this match really, really, really delivered in a way that I kind of, even though I initially thought they might end up wrestling each other, I didn't necessarily expect this match to be as good as it ended up being. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It surpassed and exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, this match, like, blew me out of the water, man. This was incredible.
Definitely the match of the tournament.
Yeah, and it should be. It's the final match. So this was an incredible way to end this tournament. Man, yeah, 34 minutes of insanity. Just The crowd
it didn't even feel like it.
It didn't, not whatsoever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it for sure.
And the crowd was super hot.
Ooh, this was the best Korakuen crowd I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, that place was like jam-packed, super into like every match.
You know, we talk about like the favors they did for Sho, but it's kind of because Sho is like coming from being a young boy and all that. But like Ishimori, man, is a star with one tournament, 8 matches in, and he's one of the top guys in the entire division.
Yeah.
I mean, just they made him look incredible.
Yeah, he'll definitely be getting a future title shot sometime later this year.
Yeah, and I mean, it was also interesting too. There's a Reddit user, The Last Rewind, and he put up this chart. If you're on Reddit, you need to check this out. Talking about how the numbers don't lie. Complete analysis of Best of Super Juniors 25 match times through night 13. And he made the keen observation that Ishimori basically wrestled a full 45 minutes less than Takahashi over the full month going into that match. So like Takahashi was like beat down.
Yeah. And he was doing crazy stuff in all the matches.
He wrestled more time than anybody else in the whole tournament. Altogether, between his 7 B block matches, he wrestled for over 133 minutes and 21 seconds.
Wow.
So it's like several hours. Like crazy.
Yeah, man. Great stuff. So Takahashi gets the win.
How surprised were you when he got the win?
Dude, I was super surprised. Like, I thought this whole tournament was set up for Ishimori to win, and
there were so many times I thought he was going to tap out.
Yeah.
He kept putting him in that
label lock.
The label lock, that omoplata crossface, and I mean, there was a couple times where I was like, he's not getting to the ropes. Like, I literally thought Hiromu was done. I loved the way that Hiromu like just had to dig and we've never seen him dig like that.
Yeah, he literally had to give everything he had here.
I mean, he really, like, during the Ospreay match earlier in the year, he did dig deep and stuff like that. But I mean, this was on a different level where like he was finding reserves in a place that I've never seen him go to before. And I mean, he's undoubtedly one of the most over stars in Japan, not just for juniors, but just in general.
Right, which I think is part of the reason why he won. I mean, we've mentioned before.
I didn't think he was.
He was kind of like on the back burner with the junior tag title feud, and really had been in the spotlight after losing to Ospreay. But, I mean, it makes perfect sense for him winning because, I mean, Ishimori looked great in defeat, and Ishimori beat the champion in this tournament. So he's pretty much guaranteed a future title shot.
That part makes sense. The part where they're pushing Hiromu, and I'm not criticizing it. Don't get me wrong. I love Hiromu Takahashi. I think he's my favorite junior. But I was just shocked because we already saw him get a title shot earlier in the year, and there seemed like there's other guys that could be next in line.
Right, and that just, I mean, I think it's one of those things where like they wanted to reward a guy that's a regular and that's been there, and not just throw a new guy over an established guy.
Yeah, but I was just very, very, very shocked. He beat him with what? The time bomb. The time bomb.
Yeah.
And he almost beat him with the triangle choke a couple times.
Yeah,
as well.
He did, yeah.
Just, do yourself a favor, guys. You have to see this match to believe it. And I need to watch it again to see. Let's talk about Dave Meltzer's statements about this match. Dave Meltzer said during the post-match show on Wrestling Observer Radio that this was one of the 10 best matches that he's ever seen in his entire life.
Yeah.
And that he really questioned whether or not Omega and Okada would be able to surpass it come Dominion. What do you think about that?
Dude, that's crazy. Especially all the wrestling that Dave has seen.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This guy's been watching since like the 70s or 60s, like, right?
Right.
Like, what is he saying right now?
Like, yeah, this was a 4.75 match, but all the 5-star matches he's seen, and
I just I think that's kind of insane. And if he liked it again, just like kind of going back to the Okada Tanahashi match from earlier last month, if you want to rate it really high, that's fine. But I bet you he is going to rate that higher than 5 stars.
We think it's going to get higher than 5?
This match?
Yeah.
He just said it's one of the 10 best matches he ever saw in his whole life.
Yeah, so it's probably like 5.5.
Maybe higher than that, man. Like, he's saying it's one of the 10 best matches he's ever seen in his life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's hyperbole and it's a little excessive, but I think he's going to rate it really high. But my only thing is, I don't even know if it's going to be in the top 10 of the year. So how could it be in the top 10 of my lifetime?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's not detracting from the match. This match was every bit as good as like we thought it was and could be and would be. And I mean, it was incredible. And that caps off the Best of the Super Juniors 25.
Yeah. Awesome tournament.
Just like, yeah. So, I mean, what were your like final thoughts on this tournament?
Man, I thought from beginning to end, overall, an awesome tournament. Several gems in there, several great matches. It was just really good stuff.
Yeah, so, with how many matches there are, I have 18 matches, 18 Jeremy, that I would highly recommend, meaning that I wouldn't necessarily say for sure they're 4 stars, but they're right about that mark. That means about more than a third of the matches in the whole tournament were around the 4-star mark.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's high level wrestling right there.
With that being the case, I mean, so I think our MVP for the tournament's got to be Hiromu Takahashi.
Oh, yeah.
The guy had 8 matches, 7 of them are classics. I think if I was going to do a rundown of the best, like, let's say top 5 matches, he's going to be in like at least 3 of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Like taking nothing away from any of the matches, but I mean, specifically his match with Dragon Lee, his match with Desperado, and his match with Ishimori are like, to me, the 3 best matches of the tournament.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and he just like, he wrestled longer than anybody else in the tournament. He had the highest quality matches. He won the tournament.
Yeah.
From kayfabe, I mean, just incredible.
Yeah, man. Takahashi was on another level.
Let's talk about A block. So, I mean, with the A block, we've kind of talked about, like, they had great stories and great matches, but it wasn't on the same level as the B block. I mean, who for you kind of like stood out? Like, who was a disappointment? What were your thoughts with all that?
I think the standouts would probably have to be Will Ospreay, ACH, and maybe I think Flip did good and Yo did good as well. Disappointments in the A block, Bushi.
Yeah, Bushi was, to me, actually, I don't have too much to really complain about. I would say, like, Kanemaru kind of played his role as being like the heel.
Yeah, heel. Grumpy heel.
The grumpy heel, the guy that cheats to win and all that sort of thing. And he had a couple, very good matches. Yo was like kind of the spoiler. He was the guy who is fighting from underneath
like the
whole time.
scrappy underdog.
He ended up with 6 points against, big names, which was still very, very, very impressive. Who else do we have in A block? Because my iPad literally just died.
Tiger Mask.
It makes me so mad. And then Tiger Mask kind of doing the early, like, the front runner. And
the early run, like, to make you think, the early nostalgia run.
Yeah, and I mean, he got wins over guys. Now, the 3 guys that he beat, if you would have guessed, like, hey, could he beat these guys? Yes, those were guys he probably could have beaten, but I still didn't expect it.
Dude, I did not expect him to go on that run.
Not at all, but it was fun. It was very, very fun to see him do that. And then, you had Flip Gordon, who Flip still had a good accounting of himself. He beat Ishimori. Dude ended up with what, 8 points?
8, yeah.
Let me see. No, 6 points.
Yeah.
But everybody in the whole block ended up with 6 points aside from Ospreay and Ishimori. So they kind of really evened things out. But he got some big wins. He had great performances against ACH and Will Ospreay. Those are the 2 matches I'd recommend. Bushi was the one guy in the A block that I guess you could say Tiger Mask and maybe Kanemaru were on the bottom side, but like Bushi, just
I don't know. I feel like I expected a little bit more
you
out of
expect more from him.
Like
I don't know.
Tiger Mask, the bar was set low for Tiger Mask for me,
Yep.
and the bar was set low for Kanemaru for
Yep.
me. So they kind of exceeded my expectations for those two.
You think that you see his look, you hear his reputation, you think Bushi's gonna do something, and he never does.
They're stunting with the $4,000 mask and the suit.
Bushi disappoints me every single time, and yeah, I don't know.
That's why nobody likes him.
For me though, like I thought ACH was just excellent in this tournament.
Oh, dude, yeah. ACH showed.
I wish ACH would have been like in the mix at the end for guys that could have won this, but
Yeah, he showed why he's one of the best going right now. And I mean, he's doing great stuff right now in MLW.
But I think like when you talk about the two standouts, you have to go with the top two leaders, and for me that was Ospreay and Ishimori.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of alluded to it when we were talking about the Takahashi match, but the way that Ishimori was able to take people from being excited that he was there to being like, I want to see this guy lose.
Yeah.
That bravo. My hats are off to him. Like all my hats, all of them, they're all off. Just like he's part of the Bull Club now, man. He's for real. I mean, like, is he only the second Japanese member of the Bull Club?
Yep.
Aside from the original Bone Soldier, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty crazy. So, I don't know if I would say Ishimori was the standout guy though. He had like two really good matches, like the Ospreay match and the Takahashi match, and everything else in between was just it was like solid.
You're right.
Oh, and the match with Yo. The match with Yo.
Yeah. That night 13 match, yo.
I'm trying to see if there's anybody that just like. I think for me though, you have to go Ospreay as far as the standout guy, and it's just because he was the point leader and he's the guy he elevated.
I mean, he pretty much gave everybody their best match.
He gave almost everybody in the whole A block their best match, and with there's a reason for that. He's right now like one of the best workers in the whole world, although no one really gave him what I would say is like his best match.
Right.
I don't think any match that Will Ospreay had in this tournament was as good as a single title defense he's had the whole year.
Oh, yeah.
Not even the Kushida one that he just had. So that was interesting if you think about it. Any final thoughts on the A block?
No, I mean, I've pretty much summarized everything on the A block.
B block, let's talk about Chris Sabin.
Yeah, I mean, he was good throughout the whole tournament. I mean, 3 stars or
more.
Yeah, he was solid, but I think people expected a lot more from him. Expected him to have more 4-star higher matches, and he did not hit that level. But I still think he had a good tournament, and this was good for him getting back into singles action. And I think that Ring of Honor could capitalize on this momentum and do something with him. Yeah,
we ended up with everybody in the B block also getting 6 points minimum, except for Skrull, Kushida, and Hiromu. Mm-hmm. Kushida and Skrull both ended up with 8 points, so 4 wins, and then Hiromu ended up with 5 at the end. So, I mean, they booked this super
even Steven, yeah.
Which, I mean, they do tend to do something, but this is more even than even, normal. I will say this. I hate Chris Sabin's gear.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like his boots that look like the Rock's boots, how the calves are cut out in the back, but then they've got the cross-stitching.
Yeah, it's weird.
I wish he'd bring back his old gear, but I thought Chris Sabin, I thought that this was great for his career. I thought that he got a chance to work with lots of different types of guys, and it did do him a lot of favors. It sounds like we were kind of down on him. I don't want to give off that impression, but he just did a single great match.
Right. But
he had nothing but good matches.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was the most, consistent guy.
Never kicked it into another gear that he known for in the past.
Taguchi
was kind of another disappointment.
That was a disappointment.
A guy that always like finishes like second, or it's like in the semifinals, or like.
I was surprised, man. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I was talking to Rich about it. Rich was like, "You thought Taguchi was good. Y'all were trying to sell me on Taguchi. I knew better than that." And I was like, "The dude has been in the finals every year for a decade.
Yeah,
not the finals, but like near the finals.
Right, finals, semifinals.
This is his worst. I think Kevin Kelly actually said this.
Yeah, his worst tournament.
The worst tournament in 10 years.
This is the one thing I didn't.
Don't act like we're stupid because we looked at the history books.
Right, and actually, even though we looked at that, I still didn't give Taguchi much points in this. I think I booked him. I can't remember. I think I only booked him for 4 points.
I gave him 8 points.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still wrong. He still ended up doing 6.
Yeah, he still got one more win, but just based on how
his performances
and who he was in, if he was in the A block,
he would have done much better.
He would have got more points. But man, he was in the stud block.
I'm not even gonna make that an excuse though. Even though you're not wrong, it's just like I've seen Taguchi have great match after great match after great match in other tournaments. And the guy can still clearly go. When he wanted to turn it on in this tournament, he did.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting. No, you don't get that past me, Taguchi. Tournament Taguchi is a real thing, and I mean, you don't control the booking, but like he was a guy though. I don't want to be too critical because I guess Marty's kind of the same way. Like they just weren't the highlight of the tournament.
Right. Yeah.
So, Taguchi with 3 points. How about let's talk about El Desperado.
El Desperado was a surprise, man.
Over-delivered.
Yeah, over-delivered. Just solid matches. I mean,
he played the Kanemaru role, but so much better than
so
Kanemaru.
much better. And yeah, I mean, Desperado definitely raised his stock for me in this tournament.
I want to see him go to Arena Mexico and wrestle Dragon Lee. Like I'm like, let's get this.
Let's run it.
Let's get this mask versus mask match popping. I want to see Takahashi get a win over this dude.
Yeah.
So, I thought Desperado was great. Dragon Lee.
Oh, dude. I was in love with Dragon Lee this whole tournament, man. He was just amazing.
To the very end.
Yeah, man. He was amazing. Like, the stuff he was doing in there in the ring, man. He's a gifted athlete. He's a great professional wrestler. Enjoyed I don't think there was one match I did not like. I enjoyed all of his matches.
Yeah, I agree. Dragon Lee, I was glad he was able to be there. I can't wait to see him in Daytona.
Oh, yep.
And every year I say to myself, I hope they bring Dragon Lee back. So I hope we see him again sooner rather than later.
I'm sure we will.
Well, he's a busy man.
Yeah.
After that, let's get to Marty Scurll.
Marty Scurll, kind of underwhelming, especially after the Dontaku match with...
Underwhelming for Marty.
For Marty, correct.
Because we know what he's capable of. We know what we expect when we watch Marty.
Well, that was Sakura Genesis was the Ospreay match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, after Sakura Genesis match, I mean, I was expecting, that quality of stuff from him, and he did not put that out here. I mean, he still had very good performances, and like I mentioned, he just wasn't the highlight. There wasn't an emphasis on him for this tournament. So, why kill yourself if you're not going to be the emphasis? So yeah, I mean, I expected more, but he still had good performance.
I agree. I think you said it perfectly. Show,
man, breakout star, this
man.
Guy, man, they got money. They're gonna print money with this guy. He just grew as a performer throughout this whole tournament because it's just shown that he's very well rounded. He's
Sho and Yo.
Yeah, man, they're both players.
But man, Sho, they booked him like he was on the level.
Yeah, man,
he was on the level,
hanging in there with all the. I mean, Taguchi you would think would be hanging in there, but Sho was the one hanging in there with these guys.
Yeah, I cannot overstate how impressed I was with Sho, and I'm very, very, very excited to see him do more single stuff in the future.
Yeah,
and that brings us to our last two guys. So, what were your thoughts on Kushida?
I think overall he was good. There was the one quick match with Taguchi, but overall, I think he still had very good matches.
Think about this. Kushida had almost 5 4-star matches.
Oh, man, yeah.
And it seemed for whatever reason, I think maybe because he went on a early losing streak, and then also he had that quick loss, but it's still Kushida. But I mean, think about these matches. Kushida versus Skrull on night 4, which was fire. Kushida versus Sho, which was that wrestling match that I really, really liked. Kushida against Dragon Lee. Then Kushida against Takahashi. Okay, maybe that's only 4, but still. Oh, and then Kushida Lee, Kushida Sho, Kushida Skrull, and Kushida Takahashi. I mean, that's 4 matches out of 7 where this dude freaking tore it up.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, we kind of sleep on him a little bit because of, the pacing of the tournament and everything, but he almost won the thing. He was
literally seconds away from being the B-Block winner.
Yeah. I do like that, to continue his storyline with Hiromu, he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to figure out a way to overcome that triangle choke.
Yeah.
Because that whole new wrinkle to his game, that's game over. Everybody's been put on alert now with Hiromu.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that. So we've our finalist, our winner, Hiromu.
Yeah, Hiromu Takahashi, man. This guy was phenomenal. Debuting the new triangle, just adding a new wrinkle to his game. This guy was putting his body at risk in pretty much almost every single match. All those crazy, drop kicks on the outside, on the concrete, and all.
How is he alive right now?
I have no idea. And all his dives, and oh my gosh, man, this guy does not care about his body, man. That jumping senton thing where he just throws himself and doesn't care how he lands or where he lands. This guy is. It's like a controlled recklessness. I know that doesn't make sense, but
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So that kind of wraps up. Do you have any favorite matches of the tournament? Any highly what are your top recommendations?
Love the final match. Obviously, Ishimori, Takahashi. Love Dragon Lee and Takahashi. Dragon Lee and Sho. Osprey and Flip, Osprey and ACH. Solid stuff.
Yeah. So my matches that I would recommend that you check out on night 1, ACH and Flip, Ishimori and Osprey. Night 2, Dragon Lee and Sho, Takahashi and Skrull. Night 3, ACH and Osprey. Night 4, Kushida and Skrull, as well as Desperado and Takahashi, which I think is one of the best matches of the whole tournament. Night 6, Takahashi versus Lee, again, one of the top 3 of the tournament. Night 8, Kushida versus Sho, and Takahashi and Taguchi. Night 12, Takahashi and Sho, and Kushida and Lee. And then night 13, Show of the Year candidate, Desperado and Lee, Osprey and Flip, Ishimori versus Yo, Sho versus Skrull, Takahashi versus Kushida. And then the match of the tournament, probably a match of the month contender for next month, Takahashi versus Ishimori.
Yep. Good stuff.
Just 18 matches, 32% of the tournament. I mean, this was incredible. I don't I'm just thinking other companies probably haven't even had that many 4-star matches the whole year.
Yeah.
And they did it in the span of
cranked
13
it out.
nights.
Yeah. But speaking of match of the month, before we talk about Dominion, we got to name our match of the month for May and the wrestler of the month for May. So match of the month for May, I mean, it pretty much came down to 2 with this tournament, there were several matches, but I think there was only one that really we can award this to.
I think we really would have maybe considered Dragon Lee and Hiromu. Mm-hmm. Even though I kind of gone back and forth on Desperado and Hiromu, but ultimately it's probably Dragon Lee and Hiromu. Wouldn't you say, as far as out of this tournament?
Out of the tournament, yeah.
Those are the 2 that stood out in the month of May. But as far as prior to that, the match of the month, and I don't think it was in any doubt or had anything that was close to it, it's Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada from Wrestling Dantaku.
Yep, that's our match of the month for May. And then wrestler of the month, Actually, interesting. I put out a Twitter poll. I just wanted to see what our audience was thinking on this.
You didn't consult with me on this. You never check with me on these things,
Man, you're out in New York, man, doing styling and profiling,
doing adult things.
Yeah, doing adult things. Threw out a poll there asking people who they thought the wrestler of the month for May was, and 40% said Will Ospreay.
They're wrong.
While 30% said Takahashi, 15% said Dragon Lee, and 15% said other.
From the tournament, they thought from the tournament that Will Ospreay was the wrestler of the month. 40%
of May, not just the tournaments. We're talking about all of May.
Yeah, but still.
So they're
that's
talking,
crazy.
They're counting in the.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to judge you guys. I want you guys to interact with us.
What was the Don Taku? Who did you find a Don Taku?
Kushida.
Yeah, so they're counting that match.
That's great.
Yeah.
But did you not see Hiromu Takahashi put out 4-star match after 4-star match after 4-star match after 4-star match? Oh, and then the 2 4.5 to 4 3/4 matches he's had? No, bro.
Yeah,
no.
So Hiromu Takahashi is our wrestler for the month of May. I mean, he has had an incredible Best of the Super Junior tournament. All of his matches in May were, way above 4 stars. Yes.
He's in that sweet spot where he might be wrestler of the month in June too.
Yeah.
Because of how great his final couple matches were in June as well.
Right. And Ospreay, yes, the Kushida match was near 5 stars, but
it's like 4 1/4, 4.5.
Yeah. But everything else in the tournament, I mean, besides his match with Ishimori.
His match with Ishimori is his highest match. Yeah, he had a really good match with ACH as well.
But they were not on the level of the stuff Hiromu was doing.
Those were his 2 best matches of the whole tournament until he wrestled Flip.
Yeah.
So in May, no way.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to put up Ishimori Ospreay and ACH Ospreay up against Desperado Takahashi, Taguchi Takahashi, Takahashi Lee, and Takahashi Skrull? Nah.
Yeah. So,
sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're ever going to give one of these Wrestler of the Months away to Okada. I keep thinking we might, but then he's just they only defend the belt once a month.
Yeah, it's hard when you only have one defense and then the rest you're either off the tour or you're doing multi-man.
He might win Wrestler of the Year still, though.
Oh, yeah. I was actually kind of going through that in my head today for some reason on who would possibly win Wrestler of the Year.
Before we move on from Best of Super Juniors, though, I just want to bring up No Don Callis on this show.
Yeah, man.
He was supposed to be here for the finals, and I heard that due to conflicts with scheduling with Impact, I don't want to say no-showed, but elected not to attend, and they ended up doing Chris Sabin instead. So thanks, Don. You gave us Chris Sabin. But I thought that was interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Because I think he was advertised for the finals, right?
I believe he was, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. You want to get into this Dominion card?
Yes, let's get into this Dominion card. We have
just dropped this morning.
The full card. Yeah, so let's get into this Dominion preview. And we had a lot of questions too that were submitted revolving around Dominion. So yeah, we have.
That's weird. People are excited about this card because on paper, Jeremy, it looks like it's the greatest show of all time.
Yeah, it looks amazing
on paper.
Yeah,
I love saying on paper ever since WrestleMania.
Oh man. So yeah, so let's get started. So the first matchup, the junior heavyweight tag titles will be on the line as Desperado and Kanemaru defend against Sho and Yo.
Oh, they are?
Yep.
Holy crap, this show is freaking stacked.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
So what are your thoughts on all that match?
I'm very, very excited. I think it's time to put the titles back on Sho and Yo.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm expecting Roppongi 3K to get the win here. Next, we have a special tag match with David Finlay teaming up with Juice Robinson to take on Yoshihashi and Jay White. Obviously, this is to continue the tease of a Juice Robinson U.S. title run, which I'm assuming is going to happen in San Francisco, the G1 Special in the USA. So I'm expecting Juice to get the win here.
Yeah, so I'm expecting this to strictly be a match that sets up, the title match going into San Francisco at the G1 Special in the USA. What are your thoughts, though, on every single other title in the promotion being defended except for this and just this title?
Yeah, I thought it was a weird choice. Dominion's pretty much, the second biggest card of the year. It's like, their SummerSlam. It's second to Wrestle Kingdom. So you would think they would have all the titles on the line, including the U.S. title. So I did think that was weird, but I do understand. I guess they want to say, there's nothing booked for the G1 Special in the USA. And obviously it's the U.S. title. And I
don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea at all. That's just my thought. It's like we've been trying to defend
Switchblade
for a while, and it's like this really looks bad. It's not a good look for my dog. You know what I'm saying? Like every single other champion is defending their belts, and you're in a tag match that you're probably gonna job just to set up a title match in America. The last time he had a title match in America, it didn't really come off too well. Like, they need to do something with this dude quick, and I think he's dropping the belt, man.
I think so too. I think Juice is going to get the big win in San Francisco.
And we're going to turn around and be like, the Jay White experiment wasn't what we thought it was going to be.
Right. But hey, at least we gave it a shot. People were out here day one trying to bury this man.
They tried.
We gave this man a chance.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So next up, we got another special tag match with Toru Yano and Tomohiro Ishii taking on the Rev Pro Tag Champions Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki.
So, Ishii is actually set to defend his belt in August, and he's in a tag match going up against Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki, who are all right now mainstays and regulars in Rev Pro. Even though Zack Sabre's signed a full-time deal with New Japan, I am wondering, could this match potentially set up a future title defense?
I think so. I think I don't know. I feel like they're trying to do something with Ishii and Suzuki.
That might be the case, or the other way I thought about it, they might be trying to set up Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki for a future tag title.
Heavyweight tag title match.
For the IWGP tag team titles. So that's another thing I thought. But
because Yano and Ishii are the team to beat.
Right now, they have been. They're kind of the gatekeepers. I am actually very much looking forward to this match. I think Zack Sabre Jr. and Toru Yano has fun written all over it.
Yeah.
And then Minoru Suzuki and Ishii, we saw them interact at the what was that? Strong Style Evolved in Long Beach. And it was just freaking awesome.
Hilarious.
So, and then obviously we know the whole history between Suzuki and Yano.
Yep.
Plus Zack Sabre Jr. and Ishii. So, there's a lot of history in this match. So, I think that tag match is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. So then next up we have the Never Openweight Championship Triple Threat
who cares?
match.
Let's move on.
Goto defending against Elgin and Tai Chi. I think Tai Chi's walking away with the Never title here.
There's a good chance that could happen. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I guess if I have to make a choice, I don't want to agree with you, but that makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Elgin winning the belt doesn't really make sense to me, but who knows?
It's the Never title.
It's the Never title, and they had him freaking eliminate Ishii in the middle of that New Japan Cup earlier this year, so anything can happen. They could just keep the title on Goto. I'm just going to say Goto retains.
Okay.
Because it's Taichi, and they haven't really been put... that whole push kind of died after.
Well, I mean, because
the New Japan Cup.
Yeah. Well, then we rolled on to Best of the Super Junior, so he wasn't booked at all. He was on this tour.
I guess this could be quote unquote part of the continuation of his push.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying I want Goto to keep holding the belt, but I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Just why not?
All right, next up, we have the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Championship match. Sonata and Evil defending against the Young Bucks, who are also co-holders of the Never Six-Man Tag Championships.
I think LIJ is retaining.
You know, I've been going back and forth on this. Part of me, one of the reasons why I think LIJ is going to retain is just the fact that the Young Bucks are already the Never Six-Man Tag Champs. I mean, they could always be double champions, but I don't know, man.
That would be pretty dope if they were double champions, though, I think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if the Young Bucks win, I won't be surprised. The only thing that would surprise me here is if this match isn't great.
Yeah.
I think this match is going to be like 12 to 15 minutes of just insanity.
Yeah.
And I think that we're seeing Matt Jackson eat a Darkness Falls or Everything is Evil or some crap like that.
Yeah.
And that will be at 1, 2, 3. I do expect the Young Bucks to win the IWGP Championships. This is their second title shot that they've ever had at these belts.
Yeah.
I just don't think on this night that it will be their night. Although
I'm gonna go with the Young Bucks just because I have a scenario that I would like to see happen.
What's your scenario?
At the end of the night? Well, it involves the main event.
Okay. All right, so they win the belts and you have a scenario. Okay.
Yeah. So then
It'd be nice if you let me know on your scenario before the show starts.
Well, we didn't have much time to talk before this.
Why is that, Jeremy?
Because I was at a Bible study. I had to put the Lord over.
Just like Vince did.
Next up, we had a special 6-man tag. We have Mysterio, Liger, and Tanahashi taking on the Bullet Club team of Skrull, Hangman Page, and Cody. I think the Mysterio team will get the win here. And I think we will see Mysterio versus Skrull at G1 Special in the USA.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that'll be really cool to see Tanahashi, Liger, and Mysterio all tag together. I kind of thought we were going to get something, maybe
a one-on-one match. It's always kind of advertised.
That's the only reason I thought. It's not that I'm disappointed. It's just it seemed like they were advertising Mysterio to be in a one-on-one match. But with that being said, I think they're just setting up something for the show in San Francisco. So totally fine with this. I think seeing Cody interact with all these guys will be great.
Yeah.
And I think it should be good. Yeah. I think the team of Mysterio and Tanahashi and Liger will pick up the win. But hey, if Cody or Marty Scurll cheats,
that could happen,
and gets the 1, 2, 3 to set up the match going down the line, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
Right. So next up,
triple main event.
Yes,
this feels like a triple main event.
It is, man. So we have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Will Ospreay defending against the Best of the Super Junior 25 winner, and the Keeping It Strong Style May Wrestler of the Month, Hiromu Takahashi. I'm going with Hiromu here.
I think Hiromu's winning the belt as well.
Yeah, he lost to Ospreay 1-on-1. He lost in the 4-way.
It would just seem like a lot of work for them to have built him up with this new. See, like earlier in the year when they built up Zach, it was like Zach didn't need the win because he was so strong and so established by that point. Winning the belt would have been a cherry on top, but they made him. Takahashi's been made for forever now. He's one of the biggest stars. These two guys, I mean, arguably Ospreay is working to get onto Takahashi's level.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if Ospreay retains, great, but Ospreay's banged up. They already wrestled once earlier in the year, and he beat Takahashi. It would seem dumb to have built Takahashi up for all this time.
Just for Ospreay
to beat him again. Again, yeah. So it doesn't really make sense. I feel like Ospreay could also be hurt. and maybe like needs the rest, and maybe it's not a bad idea. Listen, he's had a fantastic title run.
6 months,
Has been since he won it in January, right? Or he was holding it.
He won it in
last
November,
year.
right?
Yeah, so it's been longer than 6 months.
I'm saying, but he's had an awesome 6 months of 2018 is what I meant.
But even his title
run has been long.
November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. We're going 8 months. That's a fantastic title run.
That's a nice lengthy run there.
And that's another reason why I think he's going to lose it.
Yeah.
And he's beaten all the top guys with the belt. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he beat Skrull. He beat Takahashi. He beat Kushida. I mean, he could keep holding on to it, but at this point, I think on this night, the way that things are set up with everything, Takahashi's taking the belt, which is what I wanted all year anyways.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship. Tetsuya Naito defending against Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho looking to become a 10-time Intercontinental Champion.
I got Jericho.
Wow. That's a bold prediction.
I didn't know I was going to make that prediction. It just came out of my mouth.
Dude, because it's so tricky. I mean, everybody's kind of writing Jericho off just because he's not full-time, but it's like, is Jericho really going to just lose again?
I don't know. If I was New Japan, I would pay this man to put my people over.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's time for Jericho to... and I don't know when this would happen. I'm not... People are going to listen. They're like, when's he coming back? I have no idea. But I say Jericho wins the belt and then drops it back. I mean, dude...
It's not a... I mean, he's not under...
Naito doesn't even want the belt.
Right. He's not under WWE contract right now.
No, he's not under contract.
So, why not?
Yeah, I mean, they could run it back in San Francisco. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Jericho's probably going to lose. I've been terrible at, predicting stuff, but I am going to take Jericho in this one.
Okay. I'm going with Naito. I'm going with the set.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's safe bet. Like, that's the smart money. Smart money is on Naito. Why do you see it going that way? And what do you think... I mean, with all the build and all the speculation, we didn't even know if we were even going to get this match.
Right.
I mean, what do you
I'm just going Naito just because of the simple reason. Obviously, Jericho's not, as far as we know, is not signed to New Japan. Again, you know exactly when would he come back and defend the title? What he defended at G1 Special in USA. G1 is right around the corner. Obviously, Naito is going to be a guy that's in there. You want Naito looking strong going into that tournament.
Maybe Jericho wins the belt. Naito goes into the G1
and wins the G1.
And wins the G1, and Jericho defends the belt either in San Francisco or at King of Pro Wrestling, one of the big shows. Yeah. Maybe Jericho's on the Brock Lesnar schedule. He's just coming in for the big shows all year, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna take Jericho because nobody thought Jericho could beat Omega, and I was pretty sure he wouldn't, but I was like, what if he does?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't want to get worked again. I'm tired of getting worked by Jericho. So what if he beats Naito? Yeah. So I mean, I'm taking Jericho.
All right. Now our main event. No time limit. 2 out of 3 falls for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Kazuchika Okada defends against the best bout machine, Kenny Omega. And I've made it very clear on this show, on past episodes, give Kenny Omega the belt. It is time for the Terminator to rise. I want to see some V-triggers to Okada's head. I want to see the one-wing angel. And I want to see Okada holding that IWGP title. And I want to see the Young Bucks come out with their IWGP heavyweight tag titles. And see the final, reuniting of the Elite as the tag champs and the world champs. And here's my scenario. So I see that happening. So I see Ibushi being jealous of Omega, becoming friends again with the Young Bucks. And I can picture this camera angle, Kenny, they have this big hug of Kenny and the Young Bucks, and Ibushi's just kind of in the back, looking at all 3 of them. And then that's gonna be the seeds planted to set up our future title match with Ibushi and Omega.
That's interesting. I mean, the way I see it is Omega's going to win. Ref bump.
Coal spray.
Omega's about to win, ref bump, and then, Kamigoye knee, followed by a one-winged angel, and Okada retains. How pissed would you be?
Oh, bro.
How pissed would you be?
I'll be hot, bro.
What if Kotobushi really turns on Omega? Because of when he cost him the title all those years ago and all that.
Right.
I don't think that's happening though.
I don't. Yeah.
Although, I was making a joke to Rich, and I was like, "What if Rey Mysterio turns on his teammates and joins the Bullet Club?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "That's what they're really setting up for San Francisco is like Tanahashi and Mysterio."
Dude. That'd be insane.
But I'm just joking. I'm booking like I'm freaking Russo over here. No,
bro.
I think Kenny Omega's winning. And it's just simple math, like
quick math.
The dude's been holding the belt for a very, very long time. He's broken the records. Like if it's not Kenny's time now, I literally don't know when it will be.
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't beat him now, we're never gonna see him beat him.
Yeah. So we have a lot of questions surrounding Dominion, so let's start answering those. Fellow social suplex writer Tom does our NXT reviews. He asks, which match besides Omega and Okada are we most excited about?
Most excited?
Yeah.
Jericho and Naito.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go for that too, man, because I just feel like it's going to be a crazy brawl. It's going to be different from everything else on the card.
Have you been disappointed by Naito this year?
He's been a kind of...
I've been very... It's time for me to give a hot take. Naito's been trash this year, guys.
Yeah.
Okay? Seriously? I'm not trying to... Like, what pisses me off is how talented Naito is and how many opportunities. I know a lot of people have said he's been booked bad this year, but, like, it pisses me off when a guy who maybe doesn't have the most favorable booking doesn't turn that crap into gold.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened when Omega got booked badly, he turned it into money. Or when Brett got booked badly, or, Shawn. And I understand, like, the Tranquilo deal and all that, but this dude's too good to be... And I'm not saying they've been terrible, but for him to put in such little effort night after night, every night I see him wrestle...
Yeah.
I understand, like, Muda made her of doing that sort of thing, and Pentagon's doing it now and all that, but, like, this is New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can't be the MVP of this company and not have great matches.
Yeah, and then the Suzuki match.
Oh, that
was a dud.
Yeah. And I mean, the matches that have been very good, who's worked hard, his good matches this year, after the Okada match, who worked harder? Him or Yoshihashi? Who worked harder? Him or Zack Sabre Jr.?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Do you see what I'm saying? Taichi worked way harder than him. Who worked harder? Him or Suzuki? He laid around the whole match, and Suzuki just
slapped the crap out of him.
Yeah. So, and this is coming from me not out of a place of hate or anger or dislike. I love Tetsuya Naito, and I'm tired of seeing him suck.
Yeah. Hopefully things turn around for him.
So I'm very in a way, I'm very excited about this match, but I'm very, very nervous. In a way that I was never nervous about. You know how people are nervous about, they're like...
Alpha versus Omega?
Yeah, you know how people were nervous about that, saying they thought it was going to suck, and I was like, it's going to be a 5-star classic. No matter what match type, I thought it was going to be 5 stars.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. But it's the intrigue of seeing Naito and Jericho wrestle again.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Takahashi and Ospreay, and all these other matches sound great, but like it's Jericho and New Japan again.
Yeah.
Naito's not the guy that's drawing me to that match. It's Jericho.
Yeah. El Alpha.
And I hope that Naito has, like, you know, a vintage Naito type of performance. Like, I haven't been impressed with Naito since Wrestle Kingdom, bro.
Yeah, man. It's been a rough year for him. Next question comes from Rich. He says, no Ibushi or Ishimori book. Do you think we will see them at some point? Like I mentioned in my scenario, I think Ibushi, I don't think he'll second Omega to the match, but I think
he is.
Oh, he is?
He is.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Omega asked him. So yeah, he'll be seconding Omega, and I definitely think obviously he'll be celebrating with Omega winning the title.
I think that will be his role. I don't have strong predictions necessarily about the main event yet, aside from just who the winner will be. But I think it is kind of strange that he doesn't have a match, and then the fact Ishimori has no match. But
right, Ishimori. On the other hand, I don't think we'll see Ishimori unless maybe he helps like Bullet Club cheat.
Yeah, he could come out with the Bullet Club, I guess.
Or he could come out and challenge the winner of the junior match.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too. But all at the same time, G1's around the corner, right?
Yeah.
Well,
we still have all of July.
Yeah, we got July. Yep, you're right. That could happen. I was kind of thinking maybe he wouldn't get a title shot to like King of Pro Wrestling, but yeah. I mean, that could happen.
But yeah, and Ben, he commented to that. He says he thinks Ishimori is going to dive into the jump zone on Ospreay, and he goes, just continue my boy Takahashi getting screwed over.
So what, he thinks that he's going to get a title shot against Ospreay and Takahashi's losing the title match? Mm-hmm. I think he's wrong. I think Ospreay is dropping the belt.
I think so also. Another question from Rich. He says, will Okada be the champion for the next 10 years if he doesn't lose at this show?
No, not for 10 years. But, have you ever thought about this? Ric Flair was like basically the champion for 10 years. Have you ever thought about that?
I don't really stop to think about it.
From like 1980 to like 1990, like no one had more than like a couple month reign of the NWA belt. Every single time that Rick lost it, it was just going to come right back to Rick.
Right. Pretty much everybody was just transitional champions.
They were all transitional champions to himself.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, we've seen, like, it's not like, we talk about the history books and Bruno and everything like that, but, like, Rick basically, if you want to be not technical, but, like, be realistic about it, dude was champion for, like, 10 years.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that we'll see an uninterrupted championship reign of Okada for 10 years, but could that happen? Yeah. I mean, could he beat Omega? Yep.
He could, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely could.
This will not be the first time where we think he should lose and he wins.
I feel much more strongly about him losing this time than I did last time, though.
Yeah.
Just because this is the fourth time.
Yeah.
It's a fourth Omega match. It's time.
Yeah. Next question comes from Rance Morris, co-host of the Outsider's Edge and the World Class Daily Podcast.
And the What You Mean podcast.
And What You Mean. Also, he's always appearing on Ricky and Clive. He is the podfather of the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Is that who gave him that gimmick?
The Podfather? I think Ricky was the first one that gave him that.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
The Podfather. Yeah. I love that.
He says, why didn't they just run Skrull and Mysterio in a singles match? They have enough history. I do think they could have done Skrull Mysterio here at Dominion, but I think they need to save stuff for G1 special in the USA. This card is...
Here's why. Cody needs a paycheck. Liger needs a paycheck.
Right.
Tanahashi needs a paycheck.
Right.
I think it's good for Adam Page to be in the ring with all those legends, so that's why.
Yeah, I mean, with these big cards, New Japan usually tries to get as many people on the card as possible. And then plus also, too, I mean, G1 special in USA, they need something.
Plus Ray... Yeah, Ray might work, like, in the middle of the card on a WWE card because it's been established that way. But outside of WWE, dude doesn't work the middle of the card.
Right.
Anywhere.
Right. He's either main or semi-main.
And he's not going to be main or semi-main
on Dominion.
On Dominion's card. So it's probably better for him to work this little fun, safe match in Japan with some legends so that it can set up a match and it's money for everybody. He gets 2 paydays, sets up a big match for, the next card. Which we're just speculating, but I'm like 90% positive he's working San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, he has to be.
So I think it makes a lot more sense to just do it this way.
Yeah.
I mean, like, would it be great to see him in Skrull? Like, yeah, it'd be great, but I don't know. It's a lot of big matches to compete with.
Next comes from William Johnson. He says, does Jay White versus Juice Robinson happen in San Francisco?
Yes.
If so, is it time for Robinson to get the push to help with U.S. brand expansion?
Yes. Next question.
He was just saying, he said he was hoping that Adam Page would have beaten Jay White. I personally think that White doesn't need the NWJP U.S. Championship.
No, he doesn't. Give him the IWGP Championship.
Yeah. Have Jay White be the one to beat Okada.
Oh my God. Can you imagine what people would... Bro, dude, not the heat, like the disdain.
Dude, I can just picture the rant. I could picture Rich doing a YouTube rant on that if that ever happened.
I can't picture it, but I can imagine what it would sound like.
Yeah.
Apparently, Rich is doing like a video podcast now, and I don't watch them, so I can't picture it. But I can imagine what it would sound like.
But yeah, William, I also agree with Josh. I do think this is happening in San Francisco, and yes, it's time to give our boy Juice Robinson the strap.
No, yeah, all facetiousness aside, William, I do think that both of those things are happening. So great question.
And then our good buddy Howard Schilling, he says,
too sweet.
He said, will it be possible for Okada and Omega to top their classics from last year? And will their match this year be longer or shorter than those two epics?
Well, when you say top their classics, you mean cumulatively or like just individually?
Maybe individually.
I still think their first match is the best match.
The time limit, the match where Okada beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think their Wrestle Kingdom match is their best match. What did you think? Do you like the Dominion match or?
I like the Wrestle Kingdom match, but I also like the G1 match.
Have you rewatched it?
I have not rewatched any of them in a while.
I feel like if you rewatch it, as great as it is, you'll be like a little more down on it. Because I was, and so was Rich, and we kind of have similar wrestling tastes.
Yeah.
And we both were like, you know what, it's really good, but when you rewatch it, it's like, it's kind of rushed and it's kind of like all over the place, as crazy as it is. Whereas the other ones have almost like better storytelling, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer the question, I think that do you think they're going to be better than those matches? That is so hard.
It's hard, man. I mean,
but they've done nothing but deliver every time they.
And now they got 2 out of 3 falls and no time limit.
That's a tough gimmick to.
Yeah. That's
a really, really hard gimmick to live up to. You know what I mean? Like, it can be a recipe for a terrible match.
It could be.
Not saying that they will have one, but I mean, it's a tough gimmick to. It's like working an Iron Man match, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's going to be, I mean, I think for to answer the time question, I think it'll be longer than all their matches.
I think it's going over 60 minutes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, what's the point of doing no time limit if it's not going to go over 60?
Just to give us,
to make the illusion that it goes to 60?
Kind of like the idea of having a last man standing match when 2 guys kick each other in the freaking junk and then to give us the illusion that it might be
a draw.
Does that make any sense to you?
No. Let's not even start.
AJ, Shinsuke, please come home. Oh my God, what are they doing to you boys?
Oh my God.
I haven't watched that I literally haven't watched that program since April.
I know you haven't. I have.
My final answer, yes. I think that they can outdo the other matches. Will they? I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah.
You can catch it a few days from now on New Japan World.
Yes.
For 1,000 yen.
The best 1,000 yen you'll ever spend. Mr. ACP on Reddit, he says, I say it's popular opinion that the heavyweight tag scene is a weak point of New Japan. Outside of bringing in new talent, what can be done to bring some prestige to the tag titles? Well, I think the Young Bucks winning the titles would be a shot in the arm to that division.
I think as far as like entertainment and match quality, yes. For me, I feel like defending the belts more often would matter more, and also maybe having a dominant team hold them and actually booking someone like dominantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the first things you need to do, and then having a slew of contenders. I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, just build up challengers, build up the division, have characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they need to load up that tag division.
Load it up, you know? And when you got guys that aren't doing anything else who make sense to tag together,
Put them together.
Have them challenge, you know? Why haven't Ishii and Yano have a title shot yet?
For real.
Why over the past year I understand that they got injured, but why has LIJ only defended the titles twice? It's terrible.
Yeah.
Should have just stripped him.
Jack Tunney would have stripped him.
Jack Tunney would have definitely stripped him.
Mr. ACP also says, do you think the Never title will actually ever be open weight with juniors challenging heavyweights on a semi-regular basis?
It was in the past. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish both challenged for that belt, and I think Kushida has in the past as well, but lately it has not been. And I think that Sho talked about recently just wanting to challenge for it. I think it should be an open weight title.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Kushida challenge for it.
Hiromu.
Yeah.
Kushida is the guy that needs to challenge for it and possibly win it. There was someone else I was thinking of recently that I thought could be never champion, but I don't remember who it was. So, hot take, gone.
The last question from Mr. ACP says, who is one New Japan star other than Poor Tacos who you think could use a makeover? Gimmick, look, attire, and alignment.
Chase Owens.
Yeah.
That's your guy too?
Dude, I mean, Chase is so good.
Chase is so good.
He's so good in the ring. He's a great talker. Like,
I freaking love Chase Owens. I'm sorry, guys, that I do this every week, but I love Chase. Oh, also, I know you said not Poor Tacos, but yeah,
Yoshihashi is the number one.
You don't get to take the number one dude that needs it more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Off the table.
Another person, David Finlay.
Ooh. Dave Finlay that's a great answer. Dave Finlay really could use it. I mean, but when I think about Chase, like Chase going to another faction where they can use that storyline to propel him in some sort of capacity, whether it be in a tag team, whether it be in a tournament, whether it be to challenge for a title, whatever, if they can just do something to make him seem a little more important, as opposed to him being like the utility bottom
of the barrel Bullet Club guy.
In the Bullet Club. I mean, I would love to see him go to a different faction. Which faction would that be? I don't know. Maybe Great Bash Heel.
Yeah. Hey, they could read.
Maybe Team 2000. I don't know. I don't know what faction he could actually go to. There is no faction that really exists that he could go to right now. But still, for me, yeah, it's Chase. But Dave Finlay is definitely one of those guys.
Harrison G on Reddit says, do you see New Japan forming a new faction? Kenny, Ibushi, and the Bucks all seem like babyfaces while the rest of the Bullet Club are firmly heels. Do we get a wild angle at Dominion?
I have no clue. There have been a lot of speculations of people thinking that they're going to make the Elite like its own faction or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, you also have to remember, like, they sell the most merchandise because they have Kenny and the Young Bucks associated with that act.
With the Bullet Club.
So why would they take them out of it? You know what I mean?
Right.
So honestly, probably not. The only thing that I am certain of is here's the only thing I know is for sure going to happen at some point. Maybe not now. Kenny and Kota Ibushi are going to fight each other.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I don't know if it's going to be a respect match, a hate match, a blood feud, and I love you, a match made in heaven. I have no clue. But at some point, those two dudes are fighting, and that's the only thing that I'm certain of. And I don't think that they're going to risk the chance of selling as many shirts as they do and merch by taking the elite out of the Bullet Club. No.
He said, I had a dream that Jericho beat Naito with the help of the Bullet Club. Imagine the intrigue going into the main event. If that were to take place, we can get a full-on Bullet Club fracture in the middle of the main event. Kenny wins the title and puts on his new Golden Elite tee.
So Jericho helps Kenny to beat Okada?
To beat Naito.
Wait, I'm confused.
He said he had a dream that Jericho beat Naito with the help of the Bullet Club.
Okay.
He said, imagine the intrigue going into the main event. We could get a full-on Bullet Club fracture in the middle of the main event. Kenny wins.
We already have a fracture. I feel like overbooking. Yeah. I mean, that'd be. I understand what you're saying. Like in hypothetical, like Rainbow World, with unicorns and stuff. Would it be cool to see Jericho part of the Bullet Club? Like, sure, but I mean, you've got the whole thing with Kenny and Cody still going. It just doesn't. Plus, we don't know what's going on with the Tongans. Like, I want to bring less confusion to that scenario personally, as opposed to more.
Right. Then our good old buddy Gentlemanly Dragon. He says his question is: do we have a favorite G1 excluding last year's, or some favorite matches from past G1s? If you can't think about a whole tournament, this question comes from me being super hyped for the block reveals for this year.
My favorite G1, yeah, I think it's G1 24.
And who was the winner of that one?
Let me see. It was the year that AJ Styles fought Minoru Suzuki.
Okay.
Yep, that's the 2014 G1. That's G1 Climax 24, which until this past G1 was widely acclaimed as being the best G1. I've heard people say that this past year's G1 was much better. I still disagree, to be honest with you. I think G1 24 is the best G1. That's my favorite.
My favorite G1 was a couple of years ago with the one that Omega won.
That was a great one too. So yeah, I mean, honestly, the last few G1s have been great, and a lot of the early G1s aren't really that great. There's been some really, really, really good matches.
Yeah.
But it's not like, the 1995 G1 Climax was just like excellent or something like that. The G1 hasn't always been what it is now.
Yeah. And then last question is also it's about tournaments from our good old buddy Undoubtedly Dean. He says, which New Japan tournament do you enjoy the most, and which year of said tournament do you believe to be the best iteration? That's a toss-up for me between G1 and Best of Super Juniors as far as favorite tournament, but I think I'm going to say
Young Lions Cup. Young Lions Cup is awesome.
It is awesome. But
all the tournaments are great. Go ahead.
I think I'm going to go with G1.
I like the New Japan Cup a lot. You know what? I do like the block tournaments and the just like they're so epic and all that, and the whole undertaking. But I like me a good single elimination tournament. I like the New Japan Cup a lot, and I also like the J Cup. when they've done when they've done the Super J Cups, like the single elimination tournaments. I mean, I think anyone who's in their right mind is going to say G1's the best. Obviously, I believe G1's the best, but like I really like New Japan Cup, and I think it's super underrated every single year.
It's just a different. It's just different because it's a single elimination, so it's kind of good to mix things up.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, for me, I mean, obviously it's G1, but I like the New Japan Cup a lot, and I feel like a lot of people they kind of sleep on the New Japan Cup for some reason, but yeah, it's every year it's awesome.
All right, well that wraps it up for questions. Let's finish things off with news.
Okay, so sticking with the whole Dominion theme, this past Monday, the free match of the week is going to be Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada from Dominion last year in 2017. The match that went a full hour and was the time limit draw, setting up this year's match. So if you've never seen that, again, it's going to be on YouTube for free. You can catch it on New Japan World. It is free until next Monday. Do yourself a favor. If you have never seen these matches, you might want to watch one of them before you watch Dominion. I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of callbacks to this feud.
Yeah.
Speaking of Okada, so we talked about how Naito has a free interview available on New Japan World. Omega and Okada have also done free interviews that are available on New Japan World. So if you're, super excited about Dominion coming up and you want to get kind of like a preview, they've done an excellent job with these interviews, so go ahead and check those out. Also, Okada did some press recently for SportsIllustrated.com. He did a Q&A session. One thing I thought was interesting, they asked him who he thought was the best wrestler in the world outside of himself. And he said Naito, Omega, and Ospreay, yeah. So pretty interesting interview. If you get a chance, you definitely want to check that out. In other random New Japan news, so there's going to be a press conference for the G1 special in USA on July 16th in San Francisco. They will be coupling this. It's free for those who are able to attend as long as they have room. There will be a meet and greet with different New Japan stars. It's free. So nice. If you get a chance and you're in the San Francisco area, you probably want to check that out. Fire Pro Wrestling World is going to be released on August 28th, and they just announced that for those who buy the physical first copy prints of this game, they'll be also receiving a New Japan Pro Wrestling annual almanac. So if you want one of those almanacs, which I'm sure have a lot of good information in them, Fire Pro, they're just loading it up with the goodies. Access TV is going to be running a block of episodes for detailing all 12 of Okada's title defenses. They're going to be starting this block of episodes on May 30th, and it will conclude on June 15th when they air his final and 12th title defense against Tanahashi. So that's going to be destination viewing.
Yeah, it's going to be good stuff right there.
You definitely want to check that out. And then Tanahashi's movie, Dad is a Heel Wrestler, is coming out on September 21st. We officially have a date.
Nice.
I don't know if it's going to be, any like English language. I'm sure that there'll probably be subtitles, but late September. So that's coming out very shortly. We have news about All In. You heard about Deonna Purrazzo?
Yes. Apparently she was signed by WWE. So she was originally scheduled to be All In, but now it looks like she's all out with this new WWE contract.
Yep. So I don't know what they were planning for her to do on the show, but it looks like she is not going to be All In.
Yeah.
Speaking of All In, so we have the ref announcements for the different referees and the announcers that are going to be involved with the show. I'm trying to remember exactly. I know that Earl Hebner is going to be involved.
Earl Hebner, Todd St. Clair, Jerry Lynn.
What's his name? Knox from PWG.
Oh yeah. His name's slipping.
And you said Jerry Lynn?
Yep.
So those are going to be the referees that are going to be involved with All In, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and the ring announcer for the event will be ROH ring announcer Bobby Cruz.
Here, I'm going to pull it up right here. All In referees announced. So we have Paul Turner, Rick Knox, Todd Sinclair, Earl Hebner, and Jerry Lynn. So that's like 5 different
Pretty stacked.
referees. Yeah, pretty
It's
stacked.
a pretty stacked lineup for referees.
Yeah. And then Cody was recently doing a Q&A on Twitter, and they asked him who he thought the best wrestler in the world was. And he said, me, obviously. He's like, I thought it was Cody or Kenny previously, but I pinned him 1, 2, 3. So clearly that means I'm the best wrestler in the entire world. So that was pretty funny. And he also had a Twitter beef with Phil Baroni recently. Shout out to Rich Latta. He also has had Twitter beefs with Phil Baroni in the past. So it looks like him and Cody have more in common than he likes to admit.
Right, yeah.
Did you kind of catch that whole thing?
I saw it a little bit, but I don't, like right now, it's like blanking on exactly what was said. I know like Phil Baroni has been for a while now, kind of been like pestering like Cody and the Young Bucks. And he like quote tweeted something I think Cody posted.
He was kind of like criticizing them for having the NWA like involved with them and everything. And so I didn't catch everything, but it's basically, I mean, you can find it. It's all on Twitter. But Cody was basically saying something to the extent of like, dude, like your transition from MMA to wrestling's been taking like 5 years and it hasn't happened yet. You might want to stop. And then he says,
he's like, I don't work Twitter feuds or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, I don't work Twitter feuds. And then he was like, you can stop calling New Japan. We're not interested. They're just too nice to tell you, but we are not interested. They don't want you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. For a guy that doesn't work Twitter feuds, like you're pretty much getting like burying this man.
Yeah. And I saw Flip Gordon got in it too, and like Flip like buried him too.
Flip was burying Phil Baroni?
Yeah.
Phil Baroni would kill all those dudes though. And being the Elite episode 105, breaking news came out. So what were some of the highlights of that, Jeremy?
That was a fun little episode, continuing the whole Jay Lethal injury thing that makes him turn into Macho Man.
Oh, I love that. That's like my favorite news skit. Yeah. He's like, hey, Virgil,
the whole $1 million man paid you off.
He's like, how you doing, Virgil? Hey, I heard you had He's like, I heard you had a merch signing the other day. How'd that go? He's like, someone give this man $1.
Yeah. And freaking Scorpio Sky was like getting pissed off.
Yeah, Scorpio Sky's like, you might want to get checked out, man. I think you have a concussion or something. Yeah. He's like, no, fine.
He's like, huh? He's like, I'm not feeling so good. And then, Marty and Flip take Japan.
They got a shirt out.
Yeah.
It's on ProWrestlingTees.com.
And also, speaking of ProWrestlingTees.com, there's also a new Kenny Omega V-Trigger t-shirt.
Yeah,
Best believe I'm getting that.
Oh my God. The bottomless pit that is your t-shirt buying like habit and like budget, it knows no bounds. Yeah. Oh my God.
But back to being the Elite. Yeah, Marty and Flip take Japan. Marty was afraid of heights, and Flip made him ride that ride.
Apparently, Hangman someone has framed Stephen Amell.
Yeah,
for killing Joey Ryan.
Yeah,
and like I don't know. Hangman keeps hearing a weird voice. So
yeah,
the only thing with being the Elite, sometimes they do stuff like this and then they don't pay it off. Like they just drop storylines later on and it never leads anywhere. So hopefully this whole Hangman Page story is leading.
I'm sure it's leading to Hangman versus Joey.
Maybe, but sometimes they just drop their storylines, and I'm like, there was the only thing that really they were kind of teasing All In's card.
Yeah, he gave it to Cody. Matt gave the list to Cody.
Yeah, and Cody's face was like I can't believe this. It better be like that, because right now the only thing you guys are freaking teasing is Nick Aldis and Cody. You guys better give us something that like makes up for that crap. You better give us like Okada versus Omega. or something like that. Yeah. You better give us CM Punk versus Omega like
for the IWGP title.
For the IWGP title.
Oh my God.
And then the last thing I saw that really like kind of pissed me off was like
Kenny finally opened the box and they freaking cut. Oh my God.
Have you ever seen Seven? The movie?
No.
Oh my God. Because the whole time I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what's in the box? What's in the box? Oh my god, you gotta see Seven. Right. To understand that reference, you have to see Seven, but it's a great movie. I showed it to a friend of mine recently. She didn't appreciate it. I don't think she's my friend anymore. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But
Trouble in Paradise, huh?
Well, I never had paradise. So I don't have any trouble. But, it's just there's too many paradises, and sometimes one paradise finds out about
the other paradise.
The other paradises. That's what causes the trouble.
Then you have to find a new paradise.
So, anyways, they didn't like Seven. That's where real trouble in paradise comes in. If they don't like, oh my god, it's like I showed this other girl. I showed her Pulp Fiction. She didn't like it. Are you kidding me? My god. I need to find a girl that loves wrestling and Pulp Fiction. But anyways, you need to see Seven so you can understand what's in the box. I'm very frustrated that they did not show what's in the box. I hope it's not like that crap. Okay, here's another thing. Like, remember when they were like, what was the room? 10-7? Or 107?
Was it 107?
I think so.
Or 3, was it 310 or?
Maybe it was 310.
I can't remember, but at the room in Japan.
Yeah, the room in Japan, and they never showed us like what was talked about or anything, and that like it never really got paid off. They just kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of crap I don't like. And I'm like, they better show us what's in this freaking box, and it better be something good. It better not be like, oh, it's the dick pic. Like,
what if it's like a new gear? Like elite gear.
That would be cool.
For Dominion.
Oh, Jeremy, you might have cracked the code. I could see that happening. So, good episode. You know, when is Dominion?
This Saturday.
Oh, man.
June 9th.
Yep, so we'll probably get a new episode after that.
Yeah.
Okay. Last couple news outside of New Japan, which I'm going to try to, like, categorize the news from now on this way, but Taiji Ishimori is going to be appearing at Impact's Slammiversary on July 22nd. This is the first time that a member of the Bullet Club has appeared in TNA/Impact ever.
And he's appearing as the Bone Soldier.
As Bone Soldier. Unless you count like Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett.
Speaking of Jeff Jarrett, so Jeff Jarrett won the AAA Mega Championship this past weekend. Or when was that? Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Not even this weekend, like just a couple days ago.
Yeah, this past weekend.
Okay, this past weekend. So things are crazy, guys. We have like a Lucha Libre show that's coming on its way, so maybe they'll understand more of this stuff.
No, it's actually...
It's not happening?
No, it's not.
Oh my god! Dude, that just ruined the show. What happened? We had a great name.
I know. Kyle just...
Don't say his name on this show. He's dead to me.
Oh, man, yeah. Kyle,
all right.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, if you're interested in doing a Lucha Libre show... hit us up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we need someone who understands this crap because Phoenix, who was working for Crash, was supposed to go and work several dates for CMLL. Well, then there was rumors that him and Pentagon were going to go work AAA because Conan, who runs the Crash, is now booking for AAA. But these dudes had a terrible walkout like 2 years ago from AAA. Like, CM Punk style, never gonna come back, burn the bridge, it's over, done. Well, then, like, this past weekend, they had one of their big cards, and Ray Wagner, who is formerly known as Dr. Wagner Jr., why he's going as Ray Wagner, I don't know, because he's Dr. Wagner Jr., he has been for like 20-something years. Him and Rey Mysterio and the returning Jeff Jarrett have a triple threat match with what was supposed to be La Parka in AAA, who's working in CMLL, but turned out to be Conan, pinned the 1-2-3 to screw Ray freaking Wagner out of the title and put the AAA title on Jeff Jarrett. What? And then Ray Phoenix comes out and beats up Jeff Jarrett. What is happening in AAA?
Dude, Mexico it's wild right now.
What is happening? Dude, and then so Phoenix is in AAA now? And he's going to be working... Now, I know he's not officially signed to CML. He's
working Arena Mexico this Friday.
But he's working Arena Mexico this Friday. Like, it's a per-date deal, but... That would literally be like someone working in WWF and then also working in WCW in the 90s, or someone working in New Japan and then going and working in All Japan in the 90s. Do you know how weird that is?
Yeah, really weird.
So I heard, or I don't know if we're supposed to say it. Did you hear about the deal with Jeff Jarrett?
No.
So I heard a rumor. I don't know how substantiated it is, but I heard one of the reasons that they put the belt on Jarrett is because Dr. Wagner didn't want to drop.
Oh, yeah, he didn't want to put Phoenix over. Yeah.
Yeah, we heard that from a little birdie. He didn't want to put Ray Phoenix over. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about it or not, but it's out.
I mean, it's been out there. It's out there.
No, it's not. It's with our connections.
Right. But I'm saying, it's in the public. It's
not in the public. That's with our connections. That's from someone in Social Suplex through our connections.
Oh, I thought I heard that on.
That's not. Well, maybe I heard it from someone else, but yeah. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is, but this whole thing is just weird because the main reason I bring it up is because with the connection with CMLL and New Japan, like all this stuff going on, this is very, very, very strange.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird connections, so Impact is now officially invited onto Jericho's cruise coming up. When is that? In September? November?
I think it's October. Something like that.
So originally, like, they were going to have a Sea of Honor tournament, and then Sami Callihan cut like this crazy promo, and then Jericho invited them on the cruise. So I don't know if this, I mean, obviously we know the connection between him and Don Callis, but like, yeah, Impact and Ring of Honor are on the cruise with Jericho.
Which is weird because remember back in the day, Impact and Ring of Honor used to work together and they had like a big falling out.
Well, that was because the Rob Feinstein stuff with the child porn.
Yeah.
That's why. So that's kind of why.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, both Ring of Honor and Impact will be on this cruise. The rumor is Jericho versus Callahan.
Yeah,
on the boat.
Well, did you see the stuff with Callahan and Bully Ray?
No. Are they going at each other?
On Twitter, yeah. And it looks like it's an angle. It looks like it's not.
Dude, speaking of this whole angle, Don Callis has been like playing this whole Sami Callihan thing up on Killing the Town, like talking about like how crazy Callahan is. They have to like book him in separate hotel rooms. Like he's disrespectful. He called us trouble. Like
there was an article that came out recently talking about Impact and the IWGP Conception, and if you're not familiar with that term, the IWGP Conception, it's the like partnership between the different companies that work with New Japan. So we're talking about
Rev Pro, CMLL.
Yep, Rev Pro, CMLL, the NWA,
Ring of Honor.
This actually just came out 17 hours ago. It's written by Jamie Greer, who's the editor of LWS Last Word on Pro Wrestling, and it's called, you should look it up. It's a great article talking about Impact Wrestling and the IWGP Conception, and they're talking about how like over the past year, New Japan has really kind of expanded their the companies they work for, so work with not just Ring of Honor and Rev Pro and CMLL, but they've also had working relationships with WXW in Germany. And then over the past couple months and over the past year, they did, I don't know if you noticed, but they had a lot of their talent go to OTT in Ireland. And then they've also had a lot of their talent work for What Culture in the past, which is now Defiant. With that being the case, in the past, Impact has only been allowed to really work with the companies that they're working with, which is like AAA, Noah, different companies that are out there. Well, recently things have started to change with Impact working. Well, it kind of started with the whole stuff with Austin Aries showing up with the Impact title in Ring of Honor.
Right. Because Don Callis' whole philosophy is like we should be working together with as many promotions as possible and letting guys cross promote and go from brand, like have brand warfare, have guys show up on different brands, and like it just helps the overall rep of that wrestler, which helps the overall rep of your company.
Yeah, and Impact basically, like over the past couple months and past years, been working with like all sorts of different companies. They've been working with AAA, Defy, WrestlePro, Destiny, which is in Canada, Border City Wrestling, and then now Lucha Underground. And it's starting to seem like there are some indicators that maybe that there is a crossover or an imminent crossover between them and New Japan. I don't know how it's all going to work out with the different partnerships that they have, but obviously Don Callis being a part of that. We've talked about this before, but it's becoming more and more apparent. And then Austin Aries working with Ring of Honor, but also kind of being tied to Impact. And then Impact is going to the UK in September, and they have an open challenge at the Wrestling MediaCon event. The only other, they have an open challenge to work with any other British company that's there. Well, RevPro just happens to be running a show at the same time. So it seems like there's an indicator that there's a very good chance that during those dates in September that RevPro is going to be working with them. Yeah. Which RevPro is supposed to be tied to New Japan. And then also Defiant, the NWA, and NGW are also going to be doing matches during this thing. You kind of fast forward, now you got Sami Callihan calling out Chris Jericho, and Impact and Ring of Honor being on the same cruise. Like
weird.
It's weird because these are competing companies. Yeah. Not only that, but then Sami Callihan kind of working this crazy man gimmick, and kind of he called into Busted Open Radio and talked crap about Bully Ray, and then Bully Ray like kind of like went off on him on Twitter, and these guys kind of had a big feud, and this whole article kind of covers it. Now you got Ishimori showing up at Slammiversary, who's a New Japan contracted wrestler, which that never like happens. And you know, with everything, you know, you tie that to, you know, essentially, you know, the connection to Don Callis, and like it leads me to believe that it's not a done deal or anything, but there's pretty key indicators that like Impact Wrestling might be joining this group of like companies that are working with New Japan. Yeah. Which is like very, 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 very interesting stuff. And I think it's something we need to keep our eyes on. I think we've done a good job keeping our eyes on stuff that have tended to span out over the past year, as opposed to just being like wildly speculative. They tend to actually happen. So like, I'm not going to be surprised to see more Impact and
New Japan crossover.
Yeah. And what if, like we've talked about, like what if guys go there for excursions and stuff? I mean, obviously we know it's mainly a television product right now, but still. Yeah. I mean, that's still, I could see guys going there like in the near future. Last couple things. So DC Lego Batman put out a tweet kind of talking about their new game, and the tweet was chaos is coming.
Yeah, and then Okada it's like no, we're not. We're in Japan.
Okada said no, we're. He's like actually we're in Japan.
Same thing he said one day.
Same thing he said to WWE
for the Sanity promo. Yeah,
this man's just great. The last bit of news, and we'll close it down. So Chris Charlton's book Eggshells, which we've talked about, is officially going to be released on July 17th digitally and on paperback with Amazon. So you know, if you're not familiar with him, do yourself a favor, get familiar. And that's going to do it for the news.
So thank you guys for listening to this jam-packed episode of Keeping It Strong Style. Make sure you connect with us on social media. On Twitter, I am at Jeremy L. Donovan. Our show is at KI Strong Style. And you can follow Social Suplex at Social Suplex on Facebook. We're facebook.com/Social Suplex. Also join the Wrestling Squared Circle, facebook.com/groups/Wrestling Squared Circle. That's our community group on Facebook where we have a lot of fun in there. On Reddit, Josh is Keeping It Strong Style. I am the Pro Black Guy. Interact with us and, you know, put over our podcast. Make sure you check out all the other shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. One Nation Radio and One Nation Live, hosted by Rich Latta. He's also dropping some versions of his podcast on his YouTube channel. Just search Rich Latta on YouTube and you'll find those. Also, check out The Outsider's Edge with Franz and Carl, the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, all the way from Scotland, and our independent wrestling podcast, Grown Men Watch This Shit, hosted by Chris Bryan and James Vanderbeek. So make sure you subscribe to the network. Leave us a rating and review. Help us get over. Until next time, goodbye and good night. Bang.
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.